about a lot, but Travis Neal, he's a senior. Bud, probably one of the most phenomenal young men you'll ever meet. Quiet, but loved by his teammates. He's really playing good inside. And we're kind of banged up in there too because, Maury Palmore had started to come on, but he's got a knee issue. He may be out a little bit of time. DeQuincy Wilkins, who was kind of starting to come on, he has a medical issue. He's out he's sick. He'll be out again this week. And then Dawson Foster, who we'd moved to the offensive line to kind of, take some, when Kathan Green was out with the broken hand, we've had to move him back to the defensive line. So, that spot has to be solidified, and Travis Neal's the one that's done it.
Keys are always the same, but this year you might do it in all caps.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot. We can't ever turn it over more than once. You have a little grace of one, but tonight we can't turn it over at all. We've got to take care of the football at all times, especially when it leads to points for the other team. We got to convert third down. We really need to convert over 50% of our third downs tonight in order to be effective. And then defensively, we're going to have to force some turnovers. We're going to have to get some advantage somewhere where, the possessions lead to points. And a lot of times, a lot of that happens when the defense gives the ball back to the offense. And then we can't have any big breakdowns in special teams. They've got a very good punt returner, good kickoff returners. We've got to be solid in our coverage. And, Phillip has really danced around. He's had the one kick return against West Memphis, but he's been close in others in the punt and kickoff. We really need a big play in special teams tonight.
Also tonight is the celebration 50 years ago winning a state championship in the longest game ever played in high school football against Hot Springs. 7 full quarters.
Yep. Maybe
a good example for a team with the Bryant coming in and say, hey guys, I don't think anybody thought Jonesboro was going to win one back in 72, but 50 years from now, play it right, you may be being celebrated.
Yeah, no doubt. The one thing that good football teams do is they play outside their comfort zone and handle adversity in a special way. I think that's the best example I've ever heard of, where they're in the mud and the wet and the cold for 7 full quarters to come out as a state champion. So that'll be a good lesson for us to see visually, seeing those guys out there. So it's going to be really special.
Coach, Randy will be there to talk with you after the game, and I hope I'm a sick dog tomorrow because I missed the upset of Bryant.
I hope so too.
Randy Coleman in the pregame show. Randy Myers back with the starters for Bryant and Jonesboro as you're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network.
You raised your family here. Did every July 4th here. Refinished the floors here twice. Sized up your daughter's boyfriends here. Waited in the doorway all day when your son was coming home on leave. This place has given you all you've dreamed of, and now it's giving again, in the form of a gourmet kitchen and the quietest dishwasher known to man. Realize your dream with a home equity line of credit from Simmons Bank. Dreams realized. SimmonsBank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval.
It's a mix and match special now at all Jonesboro area Domino's Pizza locations. Choose any 2 for $5.99 each for carryout or $6.99 each for delivery. How about a medium 2-topping pizza, oven-baked sandwich, pasta in a tin, Domino's stuffed cheesy bread, salad, bread twists, marble brownies, and so much more. Switch it up for lunch or dinner for the whole gang. The mix and match special with any 2 for only $5.99 each for carryout or $6.99 each for delivery. Only at your Jonesboro area Domino's Pizza locations. What a horrible call! What's the matter with you, ref? You seriously need some glasses.
Honey, that's the mascot.
Oh, guess I need glasses too.
Elite Eye Care can help fans and officials alike. 1000 Windover Road in Jonesboro and 1515 West Kings Highway in Paragould. Schedule today at eliteeyecareandoptical.com or call 972-6040. That's 972-6040. Elite Eye Care. Your vision is our focus.
This is a story I'm going to tell on myself. I served on the state commission for several years, and we met somewhere around the state once a month. One time, Gail and I were going to Lake Norfolk, and from there going to a meeting in Fort Smith. Traveled a few hours to Fort Smith, and Gail called her friend to see if they were there, and they said, the meeting is next week. I missed the message. 5.5 hours later, we were back home. Glenn Sane, and God bless our troops.
Whether you're replacing an old appliance or remodeling your whole kitchen, the appliances you need are right around the corner with GE Appliances at Tucker's Appliance Superstore in Jonesboro. Shop timeless designs and time-saving features on the appliances that are built to last in the busiest homes.
Please remain standing for the Jonesboro High School alma mater. Yeah!
Sanders, a 6'1", 194-pound senior. The tight end for Jonesboro is Myarian Taylor, a 6'2", 203-pound sophomore. Up front in the trenches, the Hurricane will send Cole Abernathy as the starting left tackle, a 6'2", 228-pound junior. The left guard is Cash Colburn, a 6'1", 255-pound sophomore. The center is Kathon Green, a 6', 324-pound senior. The right guard is Alex Heineman, a 6'1", 275-pound junior. And the right tackle is Trayvon Jones, a 6'3", 335-pound junior. And those are your offensive starters for Jonesboro. The Hurricane, of course, coached by Randy Coleman. This Bryant team, which, as we mentioned, has won 45 straight, led offensively by a sophomore quarterback in Jordan Walker. I understand he is the first starting sophomore quarterback they've had at Bryant in several years. He is a 6'1", 220-pound 10th grader who has completed 60% of his passes through the first 3 games of the season for 538 yards and 7 touchdowns. James Martin is the starting running back. He's a 5'10", 180-pound junior, averages 7.1 yards per carry and has scored 4 touchdowns thus far. The wide receiving corps led by junior Mytorian Singleton, one of the top returning receivers in the state. He was an outstanding all-state performer last year for Bryant as a sophomore. Singleton is a 6', 185-pound junior. He's had kind of a quiet early season thus far for the Hornets. He's got 9 catches for 92 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he is capable of putting up big numbers. He did it several times last year. The other receivers are Carter Ratliff, a 6'5", 185-pound sophomore. Donald Miller, a 6'2", 205-pound senior. And Sean Rycraw, 5'11", 170-pound junior. In the trenches, The tackles are Lawson Hutchins, a 6'6", 284-pound senior, and Colm Taylor, a 6'2", 275-pound senior. The guards are Tate Settle, he's 6'2", 285, a junior, and Kyle Klemp, a 5'10", 235-pound senior. The center is Matthew Elder, a 5'10", 276-pound junior. Those are your projected offensive starters tonight for the Bryant Hornets, led by Coach Buck James. We'll step aside now for a 2-minute timeout. More pregame information from Cooksey Johns Field coming your way. You're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network.
Farmers and Merchants Bank announces the lobby of our new branch in Jonesboro is now open. The drive-thru is an MVP center with live video tellers 7 to 7 weekdays and 9 till noon on Saturdays. So in addition to our beautiful bank on Highland, you can also visit our new branch at the corner of Southwest Drive and Parker. More MVPs, more ATMs, more me banking at Farmers and Merchants Bank, member FDIC.
Kids grow up so fast, and so has the Arkansas Children's Hospital Jonesboro Clinic. This is our clinic's 10th year of creating healthier tomorrows for the kids in Northeast Arkansas. There's no need to cross the river or hit the highway for your cardiology or diabetes needs. Road trips are for fun, not for health care. The team at Arkansas Children's Hospital Jonesboro Clinic is celebrating by doing what we always do, giving your kids more time to be kids. Learn more at archildrens.org/Jonesboro.
You raised your family here, did every July 4th here, refinished the floors here twice, sized up your daughter's boyfriends here, waited in the doorway all day when your son was coming home on leave. This place has given you all you've dreamed of, and now it's giving again, in the form of a gourmet kitchen and the quietest dishwasher known to man. Realize your dream with a home equity line of credit from Simmons Bank. Dreams realized. SimmonsBank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval.
It's a mix and match special now at all Jonesboro area Domino's Pizza locations. Choose any two for $5.99 each for carryout or $6.99 each for delivery. How about a medium 2-topping pizza, oven-baked sandwich, pasta in a tin, Domino's stuffed cheesy bread, salad, bread twists, marble brownies, and so much more. Switch it up for lunch or dinner for the whole gang. The mix and match special with any two for only $5.99 each for carryout or $6.99 each for delivery. Only at your Jonesboro area Domino's Pizza locations.
And we welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers under the headset as we continue along with our First National Bank pregame coverage. Count you down toward kickoff for Jonesboro and Bryant in the 7A Central Conference tilt. And joined now by Steve Clayton. Steve, I appreciate you taking an opportunity to help me out here a little bit. Obviously, I've got some general overall familiarity with the Jonesboro program, having been a Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas resident for pretty much most of my life, but not much familiarity at all with this Bryant program, so it's nice to have an extra set of eyes here to help me out tonight.
Well, Randy, it's an honor to be here with you, and, you know, I bleed black and gold. I'm all about Jonesboro Hurricane, football, basketball, whatever the sport. Absolutely phenomenal night as far as aesthetics. The weather is absolutely perfect. It is a wonderful night here at Cooksey John Field. The problem, if you're a Hurricane, more than a tall task against the Bryant Hornets tonight, and you've read a lot of their accolades. You know, they have not lost in seemingly decades. It's been, 5 or 6 years since they've lost a conference game, in-state opponent, whatever. And they do it, they don't just overwhelm your opponent with athleticism. They're very well coached, they're very deep, and a daunting task for the Hurricane this evening.
No doubt about that. Jonesboro, of course, dropping its conference opener at Cabot last week, 37-6. The Hurricanes' only score in that game came on an 18-yard run by senior Brock McCoy midway through the third quarter. Jonesboro quickly fell behind less than 2 minutes into the game when the Panthers intercepted a Terrence Brown pass and returned it 13 yards for a quick pick six. Cabot led 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. They were up 21-0 at halftime. It was 30-6 at the end of the third period before Cabot tacked on one more score in the final frame. Jonesboro held to only 50 yards of total offense on the night. Meanwhile, Bryant was on the plus side of a mercy rule game as the Hornets whipped Fort Smith North side on their home field 41-10. Bryant was up 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. They had extended that lead to 35-3 by halftime. So a very big second quarter for the Hornets last week against Northside. They were up 41-3 by the end of the third before Northside got its only touchdown of the game in the fourth period. Our pregame coverage of Hurricane football is brought to you by First National Bank, where they put you first always. Stay with us as we step aside for a 2-minute timeout. Hurricane football continues after this on the EAB Sports Network.
You've been told banks with branches don't have the digital capabilities you need. But why not have the best of both worlds? At First National Bank, we have all the online banking tools you could ever need. Plus, if you need something, we have real people in real places near you. Digital, with branches and real people. We know you can't be everywhere at once, but we can be anywhere you are. Check it, snap it, track it, pay it, move it, and ask it anywhere. First National Bank, putting you first, always.
Do it now.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is a story I'm going to tell on myself. I served on the state commission for several years, and we met somewhere around the state once a month. One time, Gail and I were going to Lake Norfolk, and from there going to a meeting in Fort Smith. Traveled a few hours to Fort Smith, and Gail called her friend to see if they were there, and they said the meeting is next week. I missed the message. 5.5 hours later, we were back home. Glenn Sane, and God bless our troops.
Farmers and Merchants Bank announces the lobby of our new branch in Jonesboro is now open. The drive-thru is an MVP center with live video tellers 7 to 7 weekdays and 9 till noon on Saturdays. So in addition to our beautiful bank on Highland, you can also visit our new branch at the corner of Southwest Drive and Parker. More MVPs, more ATMs, more me banking at Farmers and Merchants Bank, member FDIC.
Kids grow up so fast, and so has the Arkansas Children's Hospital Jonesboro Clinic. This is our clinic's 10th year of creating healthier tomorrows for the kids in Northeast Arkansas. There's no need to cross the river or hit the highway for your cardiology or diabetes needs. Road trips are for fun, not for health care. The team at Arkansas Children's Hospital Jonesboro Clinic is celebrating by doing what we always do, giving your kids more time to be kids. Learn more at archildrens.org/Jonesboro.
Welcome back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton under the headsets in the NEA Baptist broadcast position. Count you down toward kickoff for Jonesboro and Bryant in 7A Central Conference football action. Pregame coin toss has just happened. The captains for Jonesboro tonight are Will Thayer, Fred Giles, Tony McKay, and Kalen Smith. And Steve, if looks like Bryant won the toss and deferred their option. Is that correct?
They will. They'll kick off to Jonesboro. Jonesboro will defend the east goal line, but get the ball early. Randy Coleman wanting to get something established offensively in this game, and he's got the opportunity to do that initially with the ball in their possession.
As we look at the series between these two, there's not much to tell you about because this is the first ever meeting. That's a little bit of a surprise that Jonesboro and Bryant have never met as long as both of these schools have been playing football, but this is the first ever meeting. Jonesboro, of course, comes into this game 1-3 overall with losses to West Memphis, Lake Hamilton, and Cabot, and a win over Center Hill, Mississippi. Jonesboro averaging 19.3 points per game, the Hurricane allowing 26.8. Bryant is 3-0 with wins over Benton in the Salt Bowl. They won that game 38-17 in the season opener. They defeated Parkview 20-10 in the game that really was closer than I anticipated it would be. And as we mentioned earlier, they beat Fort Smith Northside last week in their conference opener, defeating the Grizzlies 41-10. The Hornets average 33 points per game, and they allow 12.3 coming into this contest. Bryant is the pick by just about everybody to win this game. They've been picked to win by Hootens.com as well as Scorebook Live and Kevin Turbeville from the Jonesboro Sun. Hootens.com has JHS ranked number 11 in the state this week in its 16-team 7A classification poll. Bryant has been perched atop the 7A poll for the entire season, not just in the Hootens poll, but pretty much every media entity that covers high school football in the state of Arkansas. They are ranked number 1 in all classifications by the Arkansas Sports Media Panel of broadcasters and writers. Officiating crew for this game tonight, the referee will be Brad Davison. The umpire is Anthony Renshaw. The head linesman is Rodney Maddox. The line judge is Mark Harden. And the back judge is Tyler Renshaw. So we are pretty close to getting this one kicked and underway as the Hurricane makes their way out onto the field, same time that Bryant makes their way onto the field. So we'll just hold it right here and should be set to get this one kicked off and running here any moment now on what looks like another beautiful night for high school football in Northeast Arkansas, Steve.
Well, it was kind of interesting. Both teams kind of in a standstill, waiting for the other team to run out on the field. And finally, referee Brad Davison said, "Come on, guys, it's game time." So both teams take the field. Once again, Bryant will be kicking off. They'll be going right to left on your radio dial. Jonesboro will receive, defend the east goal line. But they'll be going from right to left on your radio dial. So kind of gives you a picture of which direction we're going tonight.
Hurricane decked out in black jerseys, black helmets with gold pants. Bryant with a clean look, all white uniforms, white jerseys and pants with royal blue numbers and helmets. Bryant coached by Buck James, who's been there since 2017. As soon as he got the job, he met with the parents and the community supporters and told them, I'm here to win state championships, and he started doing it the very next year.
And he's done it quite often since. He's got a machine going down there at Bryant, if you will. And like I said, I hate to be negative, but it is a very formidable task for the Hurricane this evening.
No question about that. Jonesboro's return men set up on each respective hash at around the 10-yard line as Bryant's kicker Malachi Graham puts foot into ball. It's gathered in, and the return is up to about the 18, maybe the 19-yard line for Jonesboro. Philip Tillman on the return for the Hurricane, and the Hurricane will start right about the 19, it looks like, on the ball just inside the right hash as they move from left to right toward the west end zone here at Cooksey Johns.
Well, Randy, like I said, Randy Coleman's objective tonight is a ball-controlled offense. You hadn't seen them play this year, but they'll have two backs predominantly in the game on either side of the quarterback. They'll run a lot of read option out of that offensive look.
Spread the field with receivers one wide to each side. Quarterback Terrence Brown, and now a late substitution checking in for Jonesboro. Apparently they didn't have everybody on the field. Now they're set. They'll send one receiver in motion. He'll line up left, drifting left, hand it off to the running back. He gets gobbled up near the line of scrimmage. Forward progress. Looks like a gain of one, maybe two after a favorable spot up to about the 21. That'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Hurricane.
And Brock McCoy on the carry for the Hurricane. And like you said, a very favorable spot. As a rule, Brian plays inside out on defense. They try to force everything outside by clogging up the middle, and that's exactly what they did there on first down against the Hurricane.
Brown out of the gun, running back on his right hip. He'll send one receiver in motion to the far side. And he's looking to throw. Sets up, fires downfield. That ball is incomplete as the intended target, who was Philip Tillman, jarred loose from the ball as soon as it hit his fingertips.
Well, that time Jones was just trying to get the ball in and out to Tillman and open space. He's a phenomenal athlete. Randy, you know he's a basketball player as well, but the cornerback on the far side closed well, forces a 3rd down and long for the Hurricane.
Trips to the near side for JHS. One single receiver goes lonesome left. Brown out of the gun, running back on his right hip. Long snap count. Here's the snap. And the give is to the back, and he's knocked forward from behind for about 1 or 2, and it'll be 4th and long for JHS from about the 24.
Obviously, punting situation. Pretty conservative call by Randy Coleman there on 3rd down and long. It was Pickett on the carry up the middle. Once again, Brian does a great job to clog the middle, forces a punting situation for the Hurricane.
So back to return for Bryant, the return man standing on the near hash at about the 44-yard line. The kick is away on the punt. It'll take a Jonesboro roll and bounce, and the Hurricane will down it at about the 46-yard line. There is a flag on the field back at about the 42 on the Jonesboro side of the 50. So we'll see what the marker's about.
Jonesboro very fortunate. The snap was actually high. Be interesting to see what the penalty is, but Bryant with a very ideal start to this football game, forcing a 3-and-out defensively, and they should have pretty good starting field position to start their opening possession, but the penalty is against Bryant, Randy.
It's going to be a holding penalty on the Hornets on the return, so that'll back the ball up to the 36-yard line. The ball will be placed just inside the left hash as they begin their approach toward the east end zone.
Still pretty good starting field position for this very vaunted Bryant Hornet offensive attack. Once again, that's a sophomore in there, quarterback.
He's out of the gun, hands it off to Ganaway, James Ganaway, I believe the first man through, and Ganaway gets a couple before he gets gobbled up near the line of scrimmage. Ganaway is a 5'10", 180-pound senior.
Marquis Stafford with a nice stop there for Jonesboro. He's a starting linebacker, and he's a sophomore as well, Randy.
Quarterback Jordan Walker with trips to the right, one single receiver to the near side. Gives it off to the first man through, and he'll fight off tackle, gets slung down to the ground hard, and Ganaway on the carry up to about the 44-yard line where he spotted.
Nice play that time by Bryson Garner from his defensive end position, but still a positive play on the offensive play for the Hornets. Brings up 3rd down and 2.
3rd and a little less than 2 from the 39. Ball just inside the left hash. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the near side. Quarterback again out of the gun. Hands it off to the running back over the right side. That's Ganaway. He should have enough to move the chains, it would appear. Got the nose of the ball just ahead of that first down marker, and it will be a fresh set of downs for the Hornets.
Zone read that time by Walker. He read the defensive end going upfield, so he gave the ball, and the carry was good for a Hornet first down. Like you said, the ball at the Bryant 47-yard line.
Ball is right between the hashes this time. Jordan Walker, athletic 6'1", 220-pound sophomore quarterback, out of the gun, running back on his right hip. They'll send a receiver in motion to the far side. That's Chris Knox. And Knox gets it on the jet sweep, I believe, as they run it to the far sideline before the Hurricane stops it for a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Nice job by the Hurricane defensively to stretch out the play. Still a gain of 3 right at midfield.
Correction, that was Singleton, not Knox on the carry. And the ball is at the 50-yard line on the right hash, 2nd and 7 for Bryant. Trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the right. Quarterback back to throw, fires over the middle on play action, finds the tight end for a first down, I do believe, inside Jonesboro territory at about the 43-yard line. That pass was caught by Carter Ratliff, a sophomore wide receiver.
He's the inside receiver, but it's a nice slant route. Right now I've been very impressed with Walker, showing poise and pocket savvy back there from the quarterback position. Once again, a sophomore.
Ball is at Jonesboro 42. Quarterback back to throw on play action on the read. Now he's going to tuck and run. He's got some room over the near side. He's at the 30, the 25, still on his feet at the 20, and finally drugged down at about the 18-yard line of the Hurricane. Nice run there by sophomore Jordan Walker on the read option.
Well, he's shown good pocket savvy, but that play showed a lot of athleticism as he does pick up the first down. They're in the red zone already on this drive.
And they are 10 of 10 in the red zone coming into this game. They are 100% on scoring touchdowns coming into this game when they get in the red zone. So we'll see what they come up with here. Twin receivers to the right, 1 to the near side. Give to the running back right up the gut, and he fights his way forward to about the 12, maybe the 11-yard line. That was James Martin on the carry.
Nice gain on first down. Jonesboro needing to stiffen up here defensively.
This will be the 8th play of the drive coming up unofficially for Bryant. Ball is at the 13-yard line. It's 2nd and 4 from there for the Hornets. Twins to the right, 1 single receiver to the left. H-back drifts in motion. Give it to Martin running right. He is inside the 5 and into the end zone for the Bryant touchdown. Bryant takes it in, or rather Martin takes it in from 13 yards out. And Bryant is on the board after an 8-play scoring drive, awaiting the extra point now.
Once again, the scoring play, a zone read there by the quarterback. Walker doing a nice job to lead the ball in the running back's stomach. Martin does a good job to get in the end zone.
Place kicker is Stephen Fuller. The kick is up and good. And so Bryant wastes no time putting points on the board. 7:24 to play first period. The Hornets take a 7-0 lead. We'll pause for 30 seconds. Back in a moment on the EAB Sports Network.
The home team at Jonesboro Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is proud to welcome Dr. Asa Schneickel. Dr. Schneickel's an A-State alum and is Northeast Arkansas's only joint revision surgeon, specializing in several forms of joint replacement. He joins the Jonesboro Sports and Orthopedics team with more than 40 years experience in getting you back in the game. So if you have a sports injury, just some nagging aches, or even need help with concussion management, call JOSM at 932-1820 to schedule an appointment. Jonesboro Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, excelling in our field so you can excel on yours.
Back back here at Cooksey Johns Field where Bryant methodically goes downfield on his first possession. We'll recap that drive in a moment. Here's the Hornet kickoff, which will bounce high and be fielded at about the 6-yard line. I believe that's Tillman. There's a flag down right after he caught the ball off the bounce, thrown from behind him, and the return is up to about the 22 or the 23-yard line. Now we'll see what the marker's about. What do you think there, Steve?
I'm sure it's some kind of illegal block against the Hurricane. I actually thought Bryant was offsides on the kickoff, but my opinion matters little, and we'll see what referee Brad Davison tells us.
We'll quickly recap that scoring drive by Bryant. They went 64 yards in 8 plays, capped off by Martin's 13-yard run, and the Hornets lead at 7-0. So what was the call there?
It was a holding against Jonesboro, so it'll back them up even further. The ball be right at the 5-yard line to begin their second offensive possession.
So the Hurricane with 95 yards of real estate to cover, starting from their own 5-yard line.
We got a lot of football to play, Randy, but it is almost imperative Jonesboro gets something established here offensively on once again their second offensive possession.
Jet sweep to the near side. Actually, that's a fake right up the middle. And a good gain for the Hurricane up to the 30-yard line.
Terrence Brown on the keeper, Randy. He faked me out as well.
He certainly did me.
Keeps the ball right up the middle. A nice shot blocking by the Big Uglies up front. Carry good for 25 yards all the way out to the 30-yard line of the Hurricane.
So it's a first down for the Hurricane after the nice carry right up the middle by Terrence Brown, who's got twin receivers to the right, one off to the left. Working out of the gun. One receiver drifting in motion to the far side. Handoff up the middle over the left side for one, maybe two, and that should be about it. Bryant all over that play.
Jonesboro running the zone read just like Bryant has done successfully. That time Brock McCoy on the carry for the Hurricane.
McCoy, a 5'9", 170-pound senior. Line of scrimmage is the 32 for Jonesboro. 2nd and 8 from there. Ball right between the hashes. Twins left, actually trips left. One single receiver to the right. Quarterback keeps it after he fakes the handoff, running right, and Terrence Brown gets maybe a yard of positive yardage. He tried to run laterally there, but as far as north and south, or in this case east and west yards, since Cooksey Johns runs east and west, it's a pickup of about a yard, a hard-fought yard, and it brings up 3rd and 7 for JHS. Ball at the Hurricane 33.
Jonesboro does a nice job to get out of the shadow of their own goal post, but be a big play right here for the Hurricane on 3rd and 7, like you said, Randy.
Twin receivers to the left, one single receiver to the right. Brown out of the gun. McCoy on his left hip. Got one receiver drifting in motion to the left. Brown is back to throw. Now he's going to step up. He'll tuck and run, and he's going to be caught shy of the marker. He got up to about the 37-yard line. It'll bring up 4th and about 3, roughly, for JHS.
Brown with a little bit of hesitation, Randy. I thought he had some daylight in front of him. He kind of hesitated before he took off on the scramble, and it does lead to a 3rd down punting situation, I believe, although I do not see Will Thayer on the field.
4th and 2, and looks like Jonesboro may be going for it here unless they drop back into punting. They're going to go with what looks like a big jumbo set, and the ball's on the ground. It looks like Bryant's going to have it. Unless they ruled it down. They may have ruled him down.
Well, the far line judge is marking it for a first down, so it'll be an interesting call.
If the ball was down when the fumble happened, then it should be a first down. Nope, they're going to rule it's Bryant's football. So Bryant did recover the loose ball, and the Hornets will get it back. And that's an unfortunate break for Jonesboro because, boy, it appeared that the gamble on 4th down had paid off momentarily, but then the ball came loose at the end of the play.
And you hit it, a tough break for Jonesboro. Jonesboro's going to need some breaks to enjoy a little bit of success in this football game. But that one, once again, goes against Bryant, and Bryant takes their 2nd possession on the positive side of the field.
So quarterback Jordan Walker leads the Hornet offense back out onto the field. He's got trips to the right, no one to the left. Running back is on his right hip. I believe that's Martin. Now he'll drift in motion near side. And we've got whistles just as the ball is snapped to blow the play dead.
The play clock is still good, so false start.
False start against the Hornets. So that'll move them back 5 yards to the 48. Sets up 1st and 15 from there for the visitors from Saline County.
Walker looks over to Bug James to get the play call here on 1st and 15.
2 receivers to the right. Jordan Knox is to the near side. Walker out of the gun. Slings it out right side. And a short gain flagged down at the end of the play. That's probably going to be no gain, maybe possibly even a loss, as Jonesboro read that pretty well. Now we'll see what the marker's about.
I think we're going to have a face mask call against Jonesboro. I don't think it's a personal foul variety. So just a 5-yard face mask, but still.
Possibly. Yep, you're right.
Boy, it's a tough break for Jonesboro. Nice job there defensively.
Sure had.
But Bryant will get the down once again. Plus 5 yards, puts the ball back at the initial line of scrimmage.
So now it becomes 1st and 10 from the 43 once again. Trips to the right for Walker and the Hornets. Running back motions near side. Walker back to throw. He's got plenty of time. He's looking on the sideline. Fires downfield. Ball is juggled and incomplete. Well defended there in the secondary for JHS.
It was well defended. The ball was actually thrown out of bounds. The receiver made a nice play on the ball. That was number 14, Sean Rycrow, the intended receiver. But the ball simply thrown out of bounds. Well covered by the Hurricane.
2nd and 10 for Bryant. From the 43. You can see the clock better than I can. How much time we got left in this period?
4:22.
4:22 remaining first period.
Clock stopped after the incomplete pass.
Right. Twins to the near side and to the right for the Hornets. Jordan Walker out of the gun. Running back is on his left hip. And he gives it to him. Now he takes it, running back to the near side. And got about 3 hard-earned yards there on the carry by Daniel Anderson, a 210-pound sophomore running back.
Kind of a unique play that time. It was a zone read, but the running back changed direction to reverse.
It almost looked like a broken play, and I'm still not totally convinced that it wasn't, Steve.
Will Thayer with a big stop that time forces a 3rd down, the first 3rd down for Bryant so far, I believe, Randy.
Twins left, 1 receiver off to the right. Walker keeps it running right on the zone read, and he dives forward to about the 36, maybe the 35. He's not going to have the first down marker, so it'll bring up 4th and 3 for the Hornets.
Interesting call here for Coach Bug James. Coach Myers, what's your call here on 4th down?
I think I'd go read option again. Put it in the hands of the sophomore quarterback.
They're obviously going for it on 4th and 3, the ball on the positive side of the field. But
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Give it off to Martin.
He's not going to get it.
Unless they give him second effort, I don't believe he got it.
Great job by the interior defensive line of the Hurricane. They do stop Martin short of the first down. Jonesboro with a big stop defensively takes over on downs.
The Hurricane will get the takeover on downs and get the ball back at about looks like they'll spot it at the 34-yard line of JHS. Ball will be on the left hash, and that's got to be a big confidence builder for that Hurricane defense, Steve.
No doubt. The first possession, Bryant took the ball, marched right down the field. That time Jonesboro able to force a 4 and out, turn the ball over on down, so a nice job by the Hurricane defensively.
1 receiver to the left for JHS, 2 to the right. Quarterback Terrence Brown out of the gun. Tillman's on his right hip. Pitch it out to Tillman, running near side. Now he tries to cut back up inside and succumbs to the numbers. He goes down for a loss back at about the 32-yard line.
Actually, that was running back Brock McCoy on the carry, but negated by a loss on the play. Nice job of, once again, Bryant stringing the ball out. McCoy stopped for a 2-yard loss.
So it's 2nd and 12 for Jonesboro. Ball at the right hash at the 32. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the near side. Brown out of the gun. Here comes pressure. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, going to tuck and run. Now he gets rid of it, finds a receiver in the seam, and that is a first down for Jonesboro after the catch made by Chris Stacy in traffic.
Nice job by Brown. I thought he had already made a decision to run the football, but he found Stacy out in the open field, and Jonesboro able to pick up a first down. Stacy, another basketball player, And I'm all about multi-sport athletes, Randy.
Absolutely. Got a bunch of them here at JHS. Ball will be at the 48-yard line on the right hash on the JHS side of the field. Twins left, one single receiver to the right. Running play over the left side. Hard fought, couple of yards.
That's Pickett on the carry this time, right up the middle.
Marcavius Pickett on the carry to the 49 for Jonesboro.
Jonesboro earning every yard running the football so far tonight.
Brings up 2nd and 8 for the Hurricane from its own 49. Ball just inside the right hash as they approach the west end zone. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Brown out of the gun. Running back on his left hip. Got a receiver motioning left. He'll give it to him on the fly sweep to the far side, and he dives forward across the 45 to about the 44-yard line. Close to the marker. I think he may be just a little bit shy.
Philip Tillman does a great job. He fell forward actually for 4 additional yards after being tripped up, but a 3rd down, very manageable 3rd and 1 here for the Hurricane.
3rd and actually a little less than a yard. Ball will be at the Bryant 44 on the left hash. 5th play of the drive coming up unofficially.
Jonesboro with a nice series of downs here to start this possession. Be big to pick up a 1st down here on 3rd and 1.
Tillman and Stacy split to the near side. Give to the running back. He's got the 1st down as he hammers his way forward across the 40 and down to about the 37-yard line of the Hornets. That was Brock McCoy on the carry, right?
Actually, Martavius Pickett, backup running back. But a nice gain. Puts the ball down to the Bryant 38-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Jonesboro. The ball once again on the positive side of the field.
Ball at the 37. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Brown out of the gun. Jonesboro's getting a nice little drive going here. Pitch it out over the left side, get some blocking, and then met and thrown back. If they give him forward progress, I think he got to the 35, maybe the 36, maybe the 35. Looks like probably going to be the 36.
Randy and I talked about Bryant wanting to spread everything out defensively. That time they do a phenomenal job. Pickett on the quick pitch. But Bryant does a great job. That's the end of the 1st quarter, Randy. We got a big celebration here between quarters.
Yep, absolutely. Observance of the 1972 state championship team about to take place here at Cooksey Johns Field. And certainly hats off to those guys. We'll pause for 30 seconds and back with 2nd quarter action in a moment as Bryant leads Jonesboro 7-0. We'll return in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network.
What a horrible call! What's the matter with you, ref? You seriously need some glasses.
I'll let
Honey,
you read those off.
That's the mascot.
Oh, guess I need glasses too.
Elite Eye Care can help fans and officials alike. 1000 Windover Road in Jonesboro and 1515 West Kings Highway in Paragould. Schedule today at EliteEyeCareAndOptical.com or call 972-6040. That's 972-6040. Elite Eye Care. Your vision is our focus.
We welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers in the NEA Baptist broadcast position along with Steve Clayton. Steve, this 72 state championship team being honored and being personally greeted by members of the current Hurricane squad. You've got the names of some of these individuals that are here tonight, I believe.
Well, they're all not here, obviously, but Robert Spear, most of you know Robert Spear. He is the head policeman out at ASU football games. Frank Hafner's out there. Steve Spark, Jim DeVasier, longtime coach here at Jonesboro. Donnie Tennyson, who's coached here in the area forever. Brent Davis, Victor Hogue, John Kinnaman was the quarterback. Woody Harrelson's obviously out there. He was the starting center. A lot of great memories out there. And I played for Dom Riggs in the mid-'80s. I heard a whole lot about this 1972 state championship team.
Yeah, so you mentioned Donnie Tennyson, and I got to know Donnie Tennyson when he was the head coach at Walnut Ridge, and I was the voice of the Bobcats back in the 80s.
He was a longtime coach at Nettleton.
Sure was.
After that, he coached here at Jonesboro, actually, when I played. And a great, great human being, him and Jim DeVasier both.
Set to begin the 2nd period. Jonesboro with the ball facing 2nd and 9 from the Bryant 36, and now we've got I guess they're making sure the field is clear, but Jonesboro was about ready to snap the ball, and then they back judge stepped in and held up play. Now we're set to resume. Brown out of the gun. Back to throw on play action. Fires over the middle. That ball is incomplete. Dangerously close to being intercepted as he overthrew the intended target. That'll bring up 3rd and 9 for Jonesboro.
Well, the intended target was Maddox Morrison, who had a little gap, was wide open against zone coverage with the ball simply overthrown.
So the ball remains at the 36 on the near hash as the Hurricane now moving toward the east end zone here at Cooksey Johns.
Obviously 4-down territory here on 3rd and long for the Hurricane.
Trips to the right, one single receiver to the near side. Brown out of the gun. Running back is on his left hip. Now he's going to tuck and run across the middle. Spins out of a tackle, fights forward, and gets down to about the 33, maybe the 32-yard line. Again, those were hard-fought yards, Steve.
They were, but it gives Jonesboro a 4th down and 5, 4th and 6, so a little bit more manageable 4th down call here for Coach Randy Coleman. And offensive coordinator Carter Harbuck signaling in plays to the Hurricane.
Twins to the right, one single receiver to the left on 4th and 6, about 6.5 probably here for Jonesboro. Brown back to throw, rolling right. Fires, got a receiver, catch made for a 1st down. He gets to the sideline, it steps out of bounds. It'll move the chains for Jonesboro. Is there a flag over there? Or did I just imagine that?
I don't see Laundry on the field, but a nice throwing catch that time.
Right there about the
There is a
20-yard
flag
line.
on the play, Randy. That's why you're the head man here in the booth. Boy, negates, if it is against Jonesboro, negate a nice throw.
Sure would.
And Graham Bartels on the 1st down reception. Wow, blocking the back.
Illegal block, man. That wipes out what would have been a 1st down for Jonesboro.
And now a big call for Randy Coleman because the penalty is going to bring up a 4th down and long. The ball on the positive side of the field, but what do you do here?
Well,
and we hear the coaching staff answer our question. They yell punt.
Yep, looks like they're going to try to pin him deep.
Jonesboro with a nice stop defensively the last Hornet possession, but Jonesboro's actually going to take a timeout, Randy.
So we'll take the timeout as well. There is 11:04 to play in the 1st half. Jonesboro trailing Bryant 7-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network.
Jonesboro High School Athletics is brought to you by Gateway Tire and Service Center and Toyo Tires. Where there's always one thing you can count on, we go the distance for you. Before you hit the road for a trip across country or across town, drop by Gateway Tire and Service Center and check out the great deals on Toyo Tires. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Toyo Tires, we go the distance for you. At Gateway Tire in Paragould and Jonesboro, we go the distance for you.
Back here at Cooksey Johns Field, Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton. Timeout on the field with a little over 11 minutes to play here in the 1st half. Bryant leading Jonesboro 7-0. And
well, Randy, after the timeout, it looks like Jonesboro's offense is
I think they're going for it.
getting ready to go back on the field.
Yeah, they only face a 4th and 2, so I think I'd roll the dice and go for it here.
Well, the 4th down is actually less yardage than the last 4th down conversion attempt by Jonesboro. The penalty occurred well past the marker, so it is 4th down and 2, like you said.
Ball on the right hash at the Bryant 39-yard line. They're going to line up in a jumbo package of everybody in tight, double tight ends and an H-back, and that looks like a quarterback keeper.
Boy, I don't think he has it.
I don't think he got it either. And Bryant's already saying we stopped him. Got one but needed 2. That Bryant's got the ball back.
Well, that is a rugby scrum in the middle, and Bryant's so stout defensively up the middle. So they won that battle. Unfortunately, turnover on downs.
Big stop by the Hornet defense. And they will get the ball back with a takeover on down, starting at their own 29-yard line. Trips to the near side, one single receiver off to the left. Quarterback Walker out of the gun, sets up, fires, got a receiver on the sideline at about the 35-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds. Pickup of about 6 or so there.
Nice throwing catch on first down. Good first down in yardage. Actually, that was good for 6 or 7 yards. They're going to say it's second down and 5.
Yeah, call it a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 from the 34. Trips to the near side. And Walker being chased on the play action.
Oh,
down it goes. And the ball comes loose. Jonesboro's got it on the return and into the end zone for an untouched score for Jonesboro.
That's Marquise Stafford, Randy. Linebacker Marquise
Stafford with the strip sack and the takeaway into the end zone, and Jonesboro is 1 point away from tying this one up.
Wow, big play by sophomore Marquise Stafford. He was in on the tackle and just figured while he was there he'd try to strip the ball and did so successfully, and it resulted in a pick six, if you will, as he picked the ball away. Scoop and score, but there was no scoop. I was trying to improvise, but nonetheless, like you said, probably a tie game after this PAT.
Extra point kick is up, and it is good by Will Barnett. It's 7-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network.
State football and the Social Jonesboro are the perfect winning combination for game day. The Social has an amazing, delicious, fantastic, and tasty menu that goes perfect for pre or post game. Plus, the official Red Wolves away game watch party takes place at the Social. What we're saying is, it does not get any better than the Social on Red Wolves game day. The name says it all. Get social at the Social and get ready to howl with fellow A-State Red Wolves fans on every game day. The Social at Greensboro Village in Jonesboro.
Welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton. Jonesboro has tied this game off a defensive score, about a 20-yard scoop and score on the fumble return by Marquise Stafford. The extra point kick was good, and with 10:42 to play in the half, we have a tie game.
Randy, I called it a pick six. He actually just picked his pocket, took the ball away from quarterback Jordan Walker. Marquise Pickett did, and he was a lot of daylight in front of him. He literally walked in the end zone from 20 yards out.
Here's the JHS kickoff. Gathered in at the 15-yard line by the Hornet return man, and he goes down at about the 22 on the return by James Martin.
Nice job in coverage that time. Momentum on the side of the Hurricane right now, seemingly. Number 10, I'm not sure who that was on the tackle, but a nice job by the kickoff team.
Clear me up here. Was that Stafford or Pickett on the fumble return for the score?
That was Stafford,
okay,
the linebacker, number 25, sophomore Marquis. Right, Pickett's the backup running back. Where's number 2?
So the Hornets will start from the 22 on the left hash with trips to the near side and one receiver off to the left. They're in a fight right now, and I think they know it. Give over the left side, and Jonesboro all over it. They gobble him up at the line of scrimmage, and this may be a loss. Actually, they're going to give him a favorable spot of about a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Almost 2 yards on the spot, but once again, momentum on the side of the Hurricane. Nice job defensively of swarming the ball carrier.
2nd and 8 from about the 23, or the 24 rather. Trips to the near side. One receiver goes lonesome left. Walker rolling near side, looking to throw. Fires downfield and underthrowing his intended target, which was Mytorian Singleton, their outstanding junior wide receiver.
Well, he had Donald Miller open in the flats, but tried to get it to Singleton, but that time the pass clearly underthrown. 3rd down and long right here. This would be a big, big stop for the Hurricane defensively.
Trips near side, one single receiver to the left for the Hornets. Walker out of the gun, running back on his right hip. He's rolling near side, looking to throw. He sets up, he's got time, and the ball in and out of the hands of the intended target. That should have been a catch, but just couldn't hang on to it. Donald Miller, their senior receiver, a veteran, not able to make the catch in space for Bryant.
Well, that time Walker with a good pass. Like you said, the ball simply dropped. But the result, a punting situation here for Bryant. If you're a Hurricane right now, At least at 9:51 in the second quarter, life is good.
Philip Tillman back to return the punt for Jonesboro. He'll be standing between the hashes at about the 33-yard line.
Jonesboro should have pretty good starting field position after this punt.
Bryant punter standing, that's Graham standing at his own 10. Gets a high kick up in the lights, a nice kick. And there will be no return. Bryant will let it bounce and roll. They'll down it at about the 30 or the 31. Looks like the 31 will be the line of scrimmage where JHS will take over.
Well, Randy, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm such an advocate of calling a fair catch and catching that ball in the air.
Yeah.
Would have saved Jonesboro about 10 or 12 yards on that particular punt. But nonetheless, momentum on the side of the Hurricane right now.
And I'll tell you what, I think this Bryant team might be a little bit rattled right now. I don't think, they got off to that easy score first, and they thought maybe they were going to cruise, and now they realize they're in for a fight.
Well, they are, like I said, with 9:39 to go here in the first quarter.
Here comes JHS, bring a man in motion to the near side. Brown hands it off, running near side. Got a seam to run through. It's a first down for Jonesboro up to about the 42-yard line on the carry by Brock McCoy.
Well, McCoy, that's Jonesboro's bread and butter right there. A little zone read to McCoy. A nice shot by the left side of the offensive line. And like you said, it's a first down on the first play for the Hurricane. Well, if Jonesboro could get a score here, a time-consuming score, it would be just what the doctor ordered for the Hurricane.
First down for JHS at the 42.
Jonesboro seemingly taking their time between plays, and they know, once again, the objective to run some time off the clock and put points on the board.
Running play to McCoy over to the far side. He runs right, running laterally. Gets run out of bounds at about looks like about the 44-yard line, maybe the 45. Looks like they'll spot it at the 44. So a positive gain of about a yard. Maybe 2 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8.
In your defense, Randy, they're having a little trouble with the yard markers over there.
Yeah, I had me confused there for a moment.
It was a gain of 2 by McCoy. So keep going positive here, Hurricane.
Ball on the right hash, twins left and right. Brown out of the gun. Running back on his left hip. He's back to throw on the zone read. Now he's going to tuck and run, pushes it across the 45 to about the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd down for Jonesboro.
Stoppage the clock right here. Oh, Brown's helmet came off. They're going to have to put a new quarterback in the game at least for one play. Ryland Jones, a sophomore, backup quarterback, in the ballgame at least for one play, Randy.
Jones in to take the snap in a big situation here. Got a
big left-handed sophomore, excuse me, Randy.
Drifting in motion to the right. Give it off to McCoy running right. He's got the first down into the secondary on the far sideline and finally run out of bounds right about the 25-yard line, it would appear. Scanning the field for flags, and I don't see any, Steve.
A nice game, and McCoy shows you that extra burst of speed that he has, able to get down the far sideline and pick up a big. There was a flag thrown, but it's now called an inadvertent flag by referee Brad Davidson.
So the ball will be at the 28-yard line on the right hash. Fresh set of downs from there for Jonesboro.
Well, Bob McCoy looking like he's a very confident runner right now for the Hurricane.
You can see the confidence rising for this whole JHS squad on both sides of the ball.
Pickett in at running back right now for the Cane.
2 receivers to the right. One brings it in motion to the near side. And the quarterback, Brown, keeps it on the read option. And he's got another first down to around the 15-yard line.
Great read that time. Brown keeps the ball. Nice job by the left side of the offensive line. And another first down.
This Bryant defense is on its heels right now, Steve.
They really are.
Trying to figure this thing out.
Looked a little shell shock here midway through the second quarter.
I think they are. First down for Jonesboro at the 15. Ball right between the hashes.
Jonesboro not huddling, but very methodical in between plays.
Tillman and Sanders off to the right. One receiver to the near side. Running play up the middle. Not much there for Pickett, but he fights hard for some second effort yardage.
You're only going to get about 1, yeah.
1 yard. It'll be a 2nd and 9 from the 14 for Jonesboro.
Once again, Jonesboro taking their time in between plays.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Brown at quarterback. Got a receiver in motion to the near side. And the give to McCoy, running right. Squirts to the outside. Ball comes loose. It's on the ground. Bryant, I believe, got it back.
Bryant's got it.
At about the
Wow.
5-yard line.
Devastating fumble for the Hurricane. Bryant with positive yardage, and Bryant McCoy's defense, simply a second effort led to that fumble.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, he was trying to, he was giving it everything he had to get extra yardage, and in the process, the ball popped loose, as you'll see happen on those occasions sometimes. Tough break for Jonesboro, and a huge break for the Bryant defense as they get the ball back at about the 8-yard line.
Jonesboro will be awful advantageous if they can keep Bryant pinned back on their side of the field.
How much time we got left here, Steve?
Little under 7 minutes, 6:56.
Until halftime, Bryant will get the ball back. They'll start from the left hash as they move toward the west end zone. McCoy Walker out of the gun. He's going to keep it.
No,
nope, actually they reversed it and bring it to the near side. And well defended by Jonesboro, although they did get good second effort yardage there and punched the ball out to about the 13 or 14.
Jonesboro trying to strip the ball. As Stafford did on that last touchdown for the Hurricane. Probably led to Bryant getting a little bit extra yardage. Jonesboro trying to take the ball away from the running back.
2nd and 2 from the 15 for Bryant. Trips left, 1 single receiver to the right. Walker out of the gun. Pitch it out to the running back on the left side. He darts it up inside and succumbs to the numbers at about the 22. Should be enough to move the chains for Bryant.
That's James Martin on a quick pitch to the left. And it will be a first down for Bryant, Randy.
21 will be the line of scrimmage on the left hash. Trips right, 1 single receiver goes lonesome left. Walker, the quarterback, out of the gun. Keeps it, running left. Gets to the sideline, has another first down that would appear up to about the 31-yard line.
Nice job by Walker. Nice job by the Bryant offensive line. It is another first down. Clock at 5:50. Bryant has all 3 timeouts, so plenty of time on the clock if you're a Bryant Hornet.
First down from the 31. Ball on the left hash. Trips right. 1 single receiver goes to the left. Walker out of the gun, rolling near side. Here comes pressure from the backside. He gets rid of it in time, but ball is incomplete. Good coverage downfield by the JHS secondary, and that'll be incomplete for a 2nd and 10 situation.
Kellen Smith, actually Tony McKay on the coverage that time by the Hurricane, and McKay wanted a flag. He thought it was offensive pass interference.
Ball remains at the 31-yard line. On the left hash, 2nd and 10 for the Hornets. Twin receivers left and right this time. Walker fires a screen pass out in the flat. That is caught for a short gain. He's proven tough to tackle and finally pulled down after the catch by Motorian Singleton. Up to about the 38-yard line.
Singleton showing you that he can run the ball in the open space himself. Nice game, but still 3rd down. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 here for the Hornets.
3rd and 3, twin receivers left and right in single file. Walker out of the gun. Shows it to the running back, fires it out to Singleton on the left side. He's got the first down, gets gang tackled after a gain up to about the 43-yard line.
Well, you mentioned the receivers in a static position out there. Singleton in the back, had lead blocker in front of him, and the completion was good enough for a Bryant first down.
Let's read on the clock, Steve.
We're at 4:43 and ticking.
Ball at the 44-yard line on the left hash for Bryant. Fresh set of downs from there. Twin receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And the give is to Martin, the running back. He bulls his way up inside for about 2 to the 47-yard line. Got about 3 after the spot.
pretty healthy spot there on one first down, but
So it's 2nd and 7 for Bryant.
Bryant knocking on the door of midfield. Clock will be under 4 minutes when the ball snapped on this play. Once again, Bryant has all 3 timeouts.
2 receivers to the right, 1 off to the left. Martin is the running back on Walker's right hip. Walker rolling right, flag down at the line of scrimmage. Pass is complete to Singleton. Singleton gets knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Jonesboro. Now we'll see what the marker is about.
Is that defensively? Because if it was offensive motion, they would stop the play. So
I'm not sure.
Interesting call here, Randy.
Yeah, I think that was a free play for Bryant probably.
No, it looks like they're marking it back.
Nope, just about the time I speak up, they prove me wrong.
They do call motion. They usually blow that play dead on the foul.
That's kind of why I thought it would be a free play for him.
Brings up 2nd down and 13 here for Bryant.
Moves the ball back to the Hornet 42-yard line.
2nd and 12, rather. Clock stopped after the penalty at 3:42.
7-all is our score. Jonesboro with a defensive score, Bryant with an offensive score. Here's Walker out of the gun. Trips to the right, 1 single receiver to left. He's back to throw, sets up, fires downfield, got a catch made. Open receiver caught from behind at about the 32-yard line. And that was Carter Ratliff on the catch for Bryant. But there's a flag down back near the line of scrimmage, so it looks like this one's going to be coming back as well. Wipe out the play by the
We have a hold, and we do have a hold against the Hornets. Bryant shooting themselves at the foot on this drive, at least this series of downs.
3:34 to play in the half. Game tied at 7 apiece.
And if you would have told Randy Coleman if he's able to go in the halftime locker room tied at 7 at halftime,
I'll take that anytime.
I guarantee you would.
Bryant spreads the field with receivers left and right. Walker back to throw. Now he's going to tuck and run. He's caught it, gets rid of it, fires and finds a receiver. What a play by Walker, who's the receiver shakes the tackler. He's still on his feet at the 30. There's a flag down. He's at the 10, the 5, and he scores. Now we'll see what the marker's about after the catch by Jordan Knox.
It will be a blindside block, Randy, and football has changed. Probably a good call, but boy, that's a tough call on the guy. He just peeled back and blocked a defender.
Hornet fans voicing their displeasure. They're not happy about it, but this one's coming back.
Obvious call, but wow, that's a tough call if you're from Bryant. Great play by Walker. He actually threw the ball when he was in the grasp of a Hurricane defender.
3:18 remaining in the half. Game tied at 7. The step off will move the ball back to the Bryant 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9 from there for the Hornets.
Boy, that is a tough call, but it is a correct call.
2 receivers to the left and 3 to the right for the Hornets. Empty backfield for Jordan Walker. Jonesboro comes with a stunt. Walker back to throw, fires over the middle, finds a receiver. That's Knox. He runs, or Singleton. Singleton runs out of a tackle and has the first down to about the 33-yard line. And that'll move the chains into Jonesboro territory for Bryant. Ball will be on the left hash at the Jonesboro 33 with 2:47 to play on a ticking clock here in the first half. 9th play of the drive coming up unofficially for Bryant.
Jonesboro's defense has been aided by a bunch of penalties, but wow.
2 receivers left and right. Walker back to throw, sets up, looking, fires.
Got him.
Got an open receiver, and he backpedals his way into the end zone for the score. That catch made for Bryant by Kason Trickey, a junior wide receiver. And just like that, Bryant goes up by another touchdown.
Walker rolls to his right side to give himself some extra time and finds a wide open receiver in the middle of the end zone.
of scrimmage there? Do you remember? 32-yard line, okay. So a 33-yard pass. Here's the extra point kick for Bryant. Pending. Snap, place, kick is in the air, and it's good. 2:21 to play in the half. Bryant takes a 14-7 lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network. Okay, I'm not hearing anything, Quentin. You're gonna have to text me when I go because I can't hear the signal now. We're back at Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton. Bryant has taken a 14-7 lead off a 37-yard pass from Jordan Walker to Kaysen Trickey. And here is the Hornet kickoff.
Kind of a squib kick. Probably was going out of bounds, but Philip Tillman picks it up.
Fielded off the bounce.
It's going to be an illegal block against the Hurricane. Randy Coleman, one of the masters of clock management, but 2:15 left to go in the first half clock, and a lot of grass in front of him, Randy.
That last drive by Bryant covering 92 yards in 9 plays unofficially. Jonesboro hit with a block in the back on that return, which will back them up. And now momentum has suddenly shifted back to the visiting team.
Well, Bryant with all 3 timeouts, if they can force a 3 and out and use some of those timeouts, Bryant would have an opportune time to put even more points on the scoreboard here before halftime.
Hurricane will start from the 10-yard line, it looks like, over on the far hash. Brown out of the gun, running back on his right hip. Gives it to him. Got about 2 maybe before he gets gobbled up right in the middle of that line of scrimmage.
Randy Bryant will take their first time out, so they're going to try to stop the clock and get the ball back in their possession.
So Bryant does take the timeout. What's the time on the clock?
2:02.
2:02, so we'll pause for 30 seconds. The Hornets lead at 14-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network. Just text me go when it's time for me to come back because for some reason, I can no longer hear the signal. Quentin. Back here at Cooksey Johns Field, Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton. Bryant takes the timeout with 2:02 to play in the half. Hornets leading 14-7. Jonesboro facing 2nd and 8 from the 12-yard line. Brown out of the gun, brings a receiver in motion to the near side, flips it to him on the jet sweep, and not much there on the carry by Tillman. Got it up to, it's actually going to be a loss of a yard after the spot. And
we got another timeout. That's actually a pass play by the Hurricane. The ball was flipped forward to Tillman in motion.
I've never liked, statistically, it's a pass play.
Exactly.
I've never really felt that should be statted as a pass play because it's just a
handoff, a pretty handoff.
It's just kind of a flipping the ball forward a little by maybe a yard or so, but statistically, technically, it is considered a pass play. We'll just hold it here for the time being. Bryant leading 14-7. Hornets taking these timeouts, thinking and hoping they can get the ball back with time to put one more score on the board before halftime.
Well, they have a pretty potent kicking game, should be noted. So even a field goal right here would be beneficial to Bryant here in the first half. 35-0, Batesville over Paragould at halftime up in Paragould.
No surprise on that score.
No.
Trying to get a score on the Valley View game. I'm told it's 20-0, but I'm not sure which team leads.
I bet it's Valley View.
I hope that's the case.
I'm a big Sean Cockrell fan.
Back in action, Hurricane with a football. Brown to throw. Now he's going to tuck and run. Gets across the 10 at the 15 and fights forward to about the 17-yard line. He's going to be shy of the marker, and the Hurricane will have to punt.
Excuse me, Randy. Bryant will take their third time out. It was a heady play by Brown because he was running toward the boundary, and he chose to stay in bounds, which forces Bryant to take their third and last time out.
So they take the timeout. We'll take it as well as Jonesboro faces 4th and 3. Bryant leads at 14-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAV Sports Network. Okay, it's 35-0 at halftime. Jump Valley View's up.
Yeah, good deal.
Just text me again, Quentin, when it's time to come back.
That is Will Barnett punting.
Okay.
Fire.
Back at Cooksey Johns Field, Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton in the NEA Baptist broadcast position. Will Barnett on to punt for Jonesboro, standing about 2 yards in front of his own end zone.
Nice
Gets
punt.
a nice kick away, and it is caught on the fly by Bryant. Runs into his own blocker. Now he's going to reverse field direction and bring it back to the near side. He's at the 35-yard line, finds a seam to run through, and finally tackled at about the 20-yard line on a great return for Bryant by Drake Fowler, a 6'2", 165-pound junior defensive back.
Boy, and a great job by Bryant on special teams there. Fowler cut back, like you said, Randy. Usually you see a lot of blindside blocks on that, but Bryant just simply shielded the Hurricane punt return team, our punt defensive team. So a nice job to avoid penalties, and this is exactly what Coach Buck James wanted.
Bryant will start at the 20 on the right hash. Trips left, 2 receivers to the right. Walker back to throw. He's got time. Now he's hit. There's a flag down. He runs out of the tackle. Shuffles left, fires into the end zone. The ball is knocked down.
It's going to be a hold.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But boy, I tell you what, a lot of action on that play, Steve.
There was, and it could have been an interception with a lot of return yardage for the Hurricane, but flag thrown by the umpire, and that's automatically a holding call against an offensive lineman.
So it will be a hold against the Hornets.
Randy Coleman's still very distressed that there was not a legal block called on that punt return.
Moves it back to the 30-yard line. It becomes 1st and 20 from there for Bryant with 1:15 to play in the half. Ball is just inside the right hash.
That penalty does take the ball out of field goal range, so big penalty if Bryant's unable to advance the ball any.
Trips right, twins left. Bring a twin receiver. That's Ganaway in motion. Now we've got flags for a
right tackle got a little bit of a head start, so the ball will be backed up 5 more yards.
Ball start, and Bryant shooting themselves in the foot. Here moves the ball back to the 35, and now it's 1st and 25 for the Hornets. Still 1:15 to play in the half. Trips right, twins left. Empty backfield for Jordan Walker. He's got time, fires over the middle of the field. Ball is tipped and picked. Return is on to the 40-yard line at midfield and finally drugged down over on the Bryant sideline. Who got that ball? Could you see it, Steve?
That was that number 19?
That was Taz Clark.
Yes.
5'10", 161-pound junior safety, and Clark with a nice return up to midfield. There's also a flag down at midfield.
Wow. A big call against the Hurricane, unsportsmanlike conduct. Instead of the ball at midfield, they'll have it at their 35. Jonesboro with 2 timeouts and a minute and 05 left on the clock. So a lot of time here in the first half, but that penalty does hurt the Hurricane effort.
Well, the main thing is you still have the ball here, so it's a tough break that you're starting at the 35 rather than the 50, but that's still better than, you know what, for a few minutes there that appeared, you know, that it was almost a certainty that Bryant was in scoring position, at least for a field goal, but great job by the Hurricane defense getting the ball back, and one more chance to put some points on the board before the half. Trips to the right, one single receiver to the near side for Jonesboro. Brown out of the gun, running back is on his left hip. Bring a receiver in motion to the near side, and they throw it complete to McCoy out of the backfield. McCoy trying to make a play in space and unable to do so, as might have thought there could have been a case made there possibly for an inadvertent face mask, but no flag dropped.
Well, Van's yelling horse collar, but Conway does a nice job. A significant loss on the play. Wow, Randy, I didn't realize it, but he lost 8 yards on that play.
Back to the 27-yard line.
I bet Randy Coleman gets pretty conservative here on his play calling.
I expect you're probably right.
Second down 18.
Trips right, one single receiver, lonesome left. Brown out of the gun, running back on his right hip. Fires short over the middle to McCoy. McCoy immediately stacked up and tackled, thrown back to the 25, and that may be another negative play for Jonesboro, depending on what kind of forward progress, if any, they give him. Looks like it'll be, they will give him forward progress to the 28, so they got a yard there, and it'll bring up 3rd and long for JHS. What's the time on the clock, Steve?
34 on the play clock, 26 on the game clock. So Jonesboro will have to run one more play, but then the first half clock will expire. Look for Jonesboro to run the ball. It wouldn't surprise me if they even took a knee here, Randy.
Brown is out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side. Going to hand it off straight up the gut to McCoy, who fights his way across the 35 to about the 37. And that was the last play of the half. So 2 hard-fought quarters by both teams now in the books, and at the half, Bryant leads it 14-7. We'll step aside for a 3-minute timeout. Back to recap the first half when we return in a moment. You're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network. Okay.
Please welcome to the field for your halftime entertainment.
Now I'm good. Thank you, though.
Cheerleaders. Jonesboro Band. Today it was very good for the Partisan. Sit Hood, Ben White, Seth Jensen, Kevin Roll, and A-State intern Blake O'Reilly. Our field commander is Caitlin Bowen. Tonight we performed the first three moves from our 2022 production, The Brush, featuring the music of AJR. Drum major, is your band ready? Here's your Jonesboro Band.
Here are our colors. Here are our brushes. Look at what happens when our colors and brushes become one. And here is our song.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause to the Jonesboro Band? Yeah!
Is that halftime? Okay.
Portsmouth Northside, where Jonesboro goes next week, is up 41-7 over Little Rock Central in the second quarter.
What was the score?
41-7.
North side up.
Yes.
Okay.
Mills must be pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. I watched the streaming replay of their game with Rivercrest, and yeah, they got some athletes, man.
I'm sorry, 40. I think it was 41-7.
Okay.
40-7.
Okay.
Hartford 48-0 now.
Okay.
Catholic.
We welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers under the headset as we roll along with our Kavanaugh Auto report, Kavanaugh Auto halftime report. A few other additional scores in to share with you. Blyville leading Westside 33-7. Believe that is a halftime score or a near halftime score in that one. And the 3A, Hoxie dominating Palestine Wheatley. Mustangs up big on the Patriots there, 48-0. In the 7A Central, a couple of scores to pass along. Fort Smith Northside, Jonesboro's opponent on the road next week, dominating Little Rock Central. I believe that's a halftime or a late first half score with Northside up on Central 40-7. Also Conway in the late in the second quarter all over North Little Rock as the Wampus Cats lead NLR 28-0 in that game in the 7A Central. Here it's 14-7. Bryant with a one touchdown lead in what has been a very competitive first half of football at Cooksey Johns Field. See if they're going to put some additional time. Looks like they probably will put additional time on the halftime clock. So we'll go ahead and take another 2-minute timeout here and back with second half action in just a moment. Again, Jonesboro trails Bryant 14-7 at the half. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the start of the second half on the EAB Sports Network. Two minutes this time, 2 minutes. Welcome back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton as halftime winding down here on the JHS campus. Bryant, the #1 team in the state with a 45-game winning streak on the line, only with a 1-touchdown lead here against Jonesboro. 14-7 is our score at the break in this 7A Central tilt. Steve, what do you suppose Randy Coleman's halftime message was to his football team?
Well, just keep on keeping on. They need some breaks to happen. They need to play well defensively. Remember, Bryant deferred the coin toss, so they'll get the ball here to start the second half. But Jonesboro did exactly what they had to do to stay in this football game in the first half. They need some breaks, but would like to get some more established offensively, especially the run, to keep the ball out of Bryant's hands. But Jonesboro's done a pretty good job tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I mean, of course, obviously I wasn't at Cabot last week, but I watched some of the streaming replay of the game at Cabot, and quite honestly, this doesn't look like the same team I saw on video at Cabot last week.
No, they come out with a lot more motivation. Bryant, I do not feel like they're as good as they've been in years past, but they're still a very dominant football team. But Jonesboro able to match them pretty much toe-to-toe so far tonight.
Well, you know, when I found out I was doing this game, I thought that there's a pretty good chance this game would go turbo clock, and of course it might yet, but I really thought, you know, I halfway expected it might even be turbo clock by halftime. It's a far cry from that right now. This is very much anybody's football game as we get set to start the second half.
Well, it is. Jonesboro needs a couple breaks to happen, but they're still in good shape for this football game. You see Jonesboro come out with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of motivation. Momentum definitely on the side of the Hurricane there in the middle to the end of the second quarter.
So as you mentioned, Bryant will get the ball to begin the second half as the Hornet Special Teams return unit makes their way onto the field. Jonesboro huddled on the near sideline momentarily.
Remember, Randy, Bryant won the toss deferred, so they'll get the ball here to open the second half, and what a great opportunity for Jonesboro defensively to force a 3-and-out early against the Bryant Hornet offense.
Bryant will set up for the return as they send Jordan Knox deep. He'll be standing at about the 10-yard line. Also going back to return is their starting running back, James Martin. And also back deep for Bryant is Tristan Knox, standing at about the 13-yard line over on the far hash.
Will Barnett will do the kicking as usual for the Hurricane.
Puts foot in the ball, sends it high and gathered in by Knox about the 15-yard line. Knox runs up the middle and
great job by the coverage team. Excuse me, Randy. Jonesboro playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of enthusiasm right now for the Hurricane.
Bryant will start at about the 25-yard line, it appears.
You know, Bryant has been in some close ball games. Like I said in pregame, it's not like they've blown out every opponent.
Well, yeah, the Parkview game,
this streak,
5A Parkview played them to within 10 points. Now, Parkview's pretty good. So Bryant will get the ball at the 25, starting from the right hash as they move toward the west end zone. They send trips left, no one to the right. Running back on Walker's hip. Walker on the read option, fires, got a receiver out in their flats. He's able to juke some tacklers, still on his feet, running free, runs laterally, and finally knocked forward from behind. And making the catch for Bryant once again was Kaysen Trickey, who caught that last touchdown pass for him.
Boy, that's a very risky pass all the way across the field in the flats that time. But Trickey does a nice job to reverse field and picks up a first down on the first play for the Hornets offensively.
Ball will be at the 38-yard line. Now we've got to stop and play.
I think just to get the chain set on the far side of the field.
So it looks like we're ready, and we will resume action. Hornets send trips to the left, one single receiver to the right. Walker out of the gun, running back on his left hip. He's back to throw, sets up, looking, fires over the middle. That ball's incomplete. Well played in the secondary there. Somebody got their hands on that ball, and it looked like it was Rico Dawson for Jonesboro who broke the pass up.
Dawson at free safety comes in, makes a great play on the football. Very nearly comes away with a pick.
Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Hornets from their own 33. Ball between the hashes. Trips left, one single receiver to the near side. Quarterback running near side, and he is up for a first down. Took a hard hit at about the 50-yard line. Jordan Walker on the carry, but he got enough to move the chains.
Tony McKay with a big hit for the Hurricane, but not until Walker picks up a first down. Looks like Bryant looking to throw the football a little bit more here in the second half.
Trips left, one single receiver to the right. Walker again out of the gun. Ganaway is his running back. He gets it to him. The screen pass out of the backfield. Ganaway trying to make plays in space, advances it forward to about the 45-yard line of Jonesboro. Pickup of around 5.
Randy, we talked a little bit in the first half about the jet sweep being a forward pass. That was actually a running play as the ball was thrown backward behind the line of scrimmage.
Trips right for Bryant. Martin ends up with it, running left side. He's got the first down. He's able to move the chains as he crosses the 40 to about the 39. Should be a fresh set of downs for the Hornets.
What Bryant's doing now, that big offensive line is just taking control of this football game here early in the second half of football, but Bryant definitely winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Ball will be spotted at the 40 on the left hash. Trips right. One receiver to the left. Walker shows it to the running back. He's in trouble. He wants to throw. Able to juke a tackler and then gets rid of the ball, but it falls incomplete. And Walker did a nice job avoiding the sack right there.
He did. The ball was actually thrown pretty well. It was a pretty hot pass, bounced off his receiver, but Walker able to avoid a couple of would-be tacklers that would have led to a Hurricane sack.
So it's 2nd and 10 for Bryant from the 40. Ball on the left hash. Inside Jonesboro territory. Twins to each side. I believe that's Walker on the carry, and he gets gobbled up after a gain of 1, maybe 2, as the black jerseyed Hurricane swapped him. And Martin gets about a yard and a half. It'll bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 9.
Big play right here for the Hurricane defensively. 3rd and long.
Ball at the Jonesboro 39 on the left hash.
Probably 4-down territory, but Bryant looking to pick up a lot of it here on 3rd down and long.
Trips right, Twins left. Walker back to throw. Here comes pressure. He lets go of it, fires downfield, got a receiver. It's tipped and incomplete, just beyond the outstretched arms of his running back, James Martin. And Martin was behind the secondary. Had he been able to catch that, it would have been an easy 6.
Interesting call here for the Bryant Hornets on 4th down and 9. The ball on the positive side of the field at the Hurricane 39-yard line. And, Randy, all indications are that Bryant will go for it here on 4th down.
Sure looks that way. They'll send Trips right, Ganaway among those out to the near side, along with Knox and Ryclaw, one receiver off to the left. Walker to throw. Sets up, fires complete.
Got
on
a
the screen
screen.
pass, the bubble screen, and that's to Martin. He should have enough for the first down, it would appear.
He pulls his way forward for the first down there at the end of the run. Nice play call by Coach Buck of the Hornets, and he does a good job to pick up a first down. Once again, the ball in the Hurricane territory at the 32-yard line.
Actually, it's going to be at the 27.
Oh, excuse me, 5 yards off. Sorry, Randy.
Twins right, one receiver to the left. Give it off to the running back. And he fights forward down near the 22, possibly the 21. We'll see where they spot the ball. 8:41 to play in the period. Bryant leading 14-7.
Clock will stop. There is an injured Hurricane on the field.
Looks like is that one of the defensive linemen down out there?
Not sure who that is. We'll try to get a number as soon as possible.
Yep. Unable to get a read on the number. He's laying face down, it would appear, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
So pause for the injury timeout. Bryant leads it 14-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network. Back here at Cooksey Johns Field, the injured Hurricane back up on his feet. That was Trayshawn Crawford, a junior linebacker for JHS.
He's a little gimpy, but coming off the field under his own power, so that's good to see.
So it's 2nd and 5 for Bryant from the Hurricane 22. Twins to the right, one single receiver to the left. Walker out of the gun, gives it off to the running back, coming to the near side. He bulls his way across the 20 and then gets thrown back. As he succumbs to the numbers, we'll see what kind of forward progress they give him. That was Daniel Anderson on the carry for the Hornets.
Anderson with positive play, but it's still 3rd down and 3 here for Bryant.
Line of scrimmage is the 20? Look down at the 20-yard line.
Yes, sir.
Trips left, one receiver to the near side. Fire complete to Martin, out of the backfield, running left, and he gets brought down back near the line of scrimmage. Well defended and good containment there by JHS.
Scott Williams on the near side, running him down from the backside was defensive end Fred Giles. It brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, basically
looks
no
like
there.
Bryant's offense will stay on the field.
4th and 3 from about the 20.
Yeah, 37-yard field goal from here, but Bryant choosing to go for it here on 4th down and 3.
Twins right, one receiver to the left. Quarterback sets up, fires, got an open receiver, catch made, jukes a man, he's at the 10. He is inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line, as that'll be 1st and goal opportunity for Bryant after the catch by Matori and Singleton, their outstanding junior receiver, one of the top pass catchers in the state last year.
Gutsy call by Coach James Begg. Kind of throwing the ball out in the flats on 4th down and 3. But it does pick up a Hornet 1st down.
1st and goal from the 8, ball on the right hash. Twins left, one single receiver to the right. Martin's the running back, and Martin gets it running right. He's into the end zone as he walks in and scores from 8 yards out for Bryant for their 3rd score of the evening.
Randy, that play looks like his own read, but it's kind of a counter action in the backfield. There's pulling linemen that the running back gets behind after cutting back opposite field, so a nice play designed by Bryant, and it leads to their 3rd score of the night.
Awaiting the extra point kick for Graham. Out of the hold of Knox, the kick is in the air, and it's good. And with 6:49 to play in the 3rd period, Bryant extends its lead by 2 scores. It's now 21-7. We'll be back here in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network.
But she can get ugly.
Could be, yeah.
Pickett and Stafford and Tillman deep.
Bryant takes its first possession of the 2nd half, marches 75 yards in 13 plays unofficially. Capped off by James Martin's 8-yard run. The Hornets now lead at 21-7. Here is the Hornet kickoff. Fielded at about the 6-yard line over on the right hash for Jonesboro. Return is on, and down he goes. Matt Bartels, I believe, on the carry.
That's Tillman, I believe.
Okay, it's correction. Tillman on the return. And Jonesboro will start at about the 25-yard line, it appears.
Once again, Jonesboro obviously would like to get points off of this possession, but imperative that they get something established offensively.
Jonesboro will snap the ball off the right hash as they move from right to left toward the east end zone here at Cooksey Johns.
Very time-consuming drive on Bryant's opening possession of the 2nd half.
Twins right for JHS, one single receiver to the near side. Got an H-back in motion. And a running play up the middle, finds one, maybe 2 for JHS.
Brock McCoy. Very short game for the Hurricane there on first down.
Got about a yard and a half. It'll bring up, we'll call it 2nd and 9 from the 26. Ball remains just inside the right hash.
Jonesboro once again not huddling, but taking a lot of time in between plays to run time off the scoreboard.
Tillman goes wide right, 2 receivers to the near side. Brown out of the gun, got a receiver drifting right in motion. And it's a pass that's intercepted over the middle. And the return man run out of bounds. Making the pick was Jalen Brown, a senior linebacker. And they just clogged up the middle, and that ball traveled a very short distance before it went right into the hands of Brown, and Bryant's going to get it right back just outside of the red zone.
I don't know if the ball was underthrown, but the intended receiver was about 10 or 15 yards downfield. Like you said, Brown right at the line of scrimmage. Actually, a blitzing linebacker able to pick off the ball after a very short pass by the Jonesboro quarterback, and great starting field position for the Bryant Hornets.
They'll start at the 30 on the right hash. Hurricane defense with its backs to the wall here. Got to make a big play. Or a big stand anyway. Walker again out of the gun. Hands it to the running back and stopped and dropped for a loss in the backfield. That was Daniel Anderson on the carry, and he was stopped in his tracks.
Well, he's talking about Taz Clark doing a great job to come up from his cornerback position. Randy, that's that little counter zone read, but that time Taz Clark said not this time, and makes a nice stop for the Hurricane defensively.
No gain. Looked like it was going to be a loss. They give him a favorable spot. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 30. Rolling left. Walker to throw. Got a receiver downfield. Catch made. And down the far sideline inside the 10 before he's run out of bounds. It'll be a 1st and goal for the Hornets.
That's Donald Miller on the reception. We've called his name a few times tonight. What a great throw by the young quarterback. Walker, a sophomore, rolling to his left. Found an open receiver and a big first down as Bryant once again gets inside the red zone.
Ball is at the 10. 1st and goal from there for the Hornets. Twins right, one single receiver to the left. Walker out of the gun. He wants to keep it. Follow some blockers over the left side. He's inside the 5. He's just shy of the end zone before he's taken off his feet.
He'll get down about the 1 yard line, maybe inside the 1 yard line. But Randy, that big offensive line for Bryant just looks bigger and bigger and stronger, and they're controlling the line of scrimmage, obviously.
Sure, that's a great point. They are exerting themselves here in the second half. 1st and goal from the 1. Walker out of the gun. Gives it to, I believe that's Martin, and he's got the touchdown over the right side on the 1 yard plunge.
That's actually Daniel Anderson, but another nice job of blocking by the big offensive line of Bryant. And Bryant extends their lead right now. It's 27-7 at 4:35 here in the third quarter.
So Anderson on the 1 yard run for the touchdown for Bryant as we await the extra point kick by Fuller. It's in the air. And it's good, and suddenly it's 28-7 with 4:35 to play in the third period. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Back in a moment. You're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton as we welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. This was a one-score game at halftime, but Bryant's already scored twice here in the second half, both times that they've had the ball, and it's now 28-7. That last play, a last drive, a 4-play scoring drive. And here's the Jonesboro kickoff return. Not much there for Jonesboro on that return, Steve.
Randy, we talked about momentum being on the side of the Hurricane in the second quarter, but it's probably a product of their own doing. But right now, all momentum on the side of the Bryant Hornets. A nice job on the kickoff coverage there for Bryant.
Yeah, we talked about the confidence that Jonesboro, you saw the confidence building for Jonesboro as that first half progressed. Now you can see Bryant starting to feel their oats a little bit, and their confidence is rising. This is more the way they're used to games going.
Well, they've definitely established themselves, and like I said, here predominantly in the second half, they have dominated the line of scrimmage.
Jonesboro out of the gun, starting from the 19-yard line. Got a man in motion far side. Counter play across the middle for JHS on a running play.
It's brought McCoy up the middle.
Gets about 3. It'll bring up closer to 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Nice spot by the official. We'll take it. 2nd down and 6. Once again, Jonesboro taking a lot of time in between plays, running a lot of time off the scoreboard.
Ball at the 23-yard line. Twins right for JHS. McCoy with it, running right, run out of bounds, out across the 25 at about the 26-yard line.
Bob McCoy getting on the far sideline, does a nice job to pick up positive yardage, but still a big 3rd down right now if you're a Hurricane. They want to keep the ball in their possession, and Randy McCoy's coming off the field. Look like he's just a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, it looks like he might have possibly a little hamstring issue maybe, just from the way he was. There's a flag before the ball is snapped. That's probably going to be somebody saying something they shouldn't have said. I'm not sure which side that's going to go against, but that was definitely a dead ball foul.
Looks like Jonesboro walking backwards, so not good for the Hurricane on 3rd and short especially.
Yeah, they had, before that flag flew, faced about a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, and it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And now 3rd and manageable becomes 3rd and tough.
It was called against Philip Tillman. That's his first unsportsmanlike call. If you get kicked out, if you get 2. So right now, Philip Tillman, a great athlete, needs to contain himself mentally.
He had to have said something because there was nothing going on there. I mean, it was a dead ball. Nobody.
No contact.
Yeah, no contact whatsoever. So it had to be something that he said.
But now 3rd down, 17.
Ball moved back to the 14-yard line on
3rd and 16, yes.
Receiver in motion to the near side. Brown back to throw. Sets up, fires, finds a receiver. Catch made, and down he goes at about the 19-yard line.
So I'm bringing up a 4th down punting situation.
I believe that was Bartels.
Matt Bartels on the reception. Did a nice job, but just a little bit too short of the first down.
4th and 8 for Jonesboro from the 21-yard line. And JHS will punt. Bryant return man sets up on the right hash at the 50-yard line.
Once again, Will Barnett in punting situation for the Hurricane, punting position.
Gets the kick away. It's fielded at the 47. There's a flag down. The return up forward by Drake Fowler to about the 40-yard line. Now we'll see what the laundry all over the field. So we got 2 or 3 flags there. We may have multiple penalties here, possibly based on where those flags are dropped.
No doubt we'll have more than one penalty, but.
And they also have a Hurricane down at the end of that play. So a lot to sort out here.
Spencer Gwynn even goes on the field, but the Hurricane is getting up. The injured Hurricane is Philip Tillman, who threw a nice block on the play, but Tillman walking off under his own regard, but he is obviously shaking up.
He's a little shaky there as he makes his way to the sideline. As you mentioned, he did get there under his own power, but I got a feeling.
Coach Wes Swift's kind of cringing right now. Wes Swift, the basketball coach.
So.
Tillman will be a starter this year for the Hurricane on the basketball court, but the penalty was against Bryant. It'll back them up in their own territory.
So they'll start at their own 43.
Illegal block against Bryant.
Trips left, Twins right for the Hornets. Walker out of the gun in an empty backfield. Ganaway in motion, flips it to him on the jet sweep, running left, and he fights forward across the 45 to about the 46. Pick up of a couple, maybe 3.
Nice play. Now Bryant not really getting in a hurry as their clock becoming more and more an advocate of the Bryant Hornets.
Brings up 2nd and 7 for Bryant from the Hornet 46, ball between the hashes. Trips right, Twins left. Again, an empty backfield for Jordan Walker. He's going to tuck and run. Scuts to the outside. Shakes that tackle. He's across the 50 into Jonesboro territory before he goes down. Close to the first down marker. He may be just a little bit shy. We'll see where they spot him.
Randy, he's a sophomore, but he's also big and strong. He's able to break a couple tackles and pick up a nice gain there on 2nd down.
6'1", 220. This will bring up 3rd and 1 for Bryant from the Jonesboro 49. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Give to Martin over the left side, and he's got the first down as he bulls his way, gets a great blocking from his offensive line, and down near the 41-yard line, I believe.
James Martin with a little bit of extra enthusiasm there at the end of that run. It was a nice run. Like you mentioned, Randy, a nice job of the offensive line, but Martin able to pick up about 4 or 5 yards on his own at the end of the play and kind of doing a little cheerleading after the play, trying to get the Bryant sideline fired up.
First down from the 41. Quarterback fires over the middle. He's got a receiver all alone. He'll jot down the sideline and into the end zone for another Bryant score. Making that catch was Donald Miller, and he just got behind the Jonesboro secondary and then jogged down the sideline for the score.
Good call, Randy. He was exactly right. It wasn't like he was wide open, but he was the last one, or there was no one between him and the goal line. A nice play by Walker to get him the ball, and another score. Wow, what was a close game at halftime is quickly becoming a blowout.
Extra point kick is good. And with 1:19 to play in the 3rd, Bryant now leads it 35-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network. What was the line of scrimmage there? You know?
24. Okay. Maybe. The down marker is staying at 24.
Okay.
You know, the guy on the down marker is 7 foot Jordan Hightower. He's spot on the far sideline.
We welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton. Bryant in the second half has looked like the #1 team in the state as they are dominant here thus far in the second half. Here's the Hornet kickoff. We'll recap that last scoring drive momentarily. Jonesboro with a return up to about the 25-yard line. And
Philip Tillman on the return. It's good to see Tillman back in the game.
that last Bryant drive covered 57 yards in 4 plays unofficially, capped off by Walker's 24-yard pass to Donald Miller. Extra point kick good, and the Hornets now lead it 35-7.
Well, Randy, you called it. You said Bryant looking like the #1 team in the state here in the second half. We talked about Jonesboro with a chance to have the lead in the first half of play, but now we're talking about Bryant with one more score invoking the mercy rule.
Valley View has defeated Forest City 49-0 in that 5A East tilt, and St. Francis County as the Blazers improve to 4-1 with a victory, 2-0 in conference play. Jonesboro with the football here. need some positive things to happen. Here's Brown with it on the keeper across the right side. Gets a couple, and that'll be about it.
Once again, Bryant totally dominant at the line of scrimmage. Boy, kudos to Sean Cockrell and the Valley View Blazers. I'm a big Sean Cockrell fan, and the Blazers are rolling at the right time. Early loss to Harding Academy, but they've looked pretty dominant since then.
Got their work cut out for them next week. The Yellow Jackets from Wynn come to town.
Big game.
Absolutely. Here's Brown back to throw. He's got time. Looking in double coverage. Ball is overthrown. The intended target there for Jonesboro was
Chris Stacy.
Yeah, Chris Stacy.
Stacy actually had a step, but the ball simply overthrown. Stacy was double covered. It was taking a perfect pass, but the ball simply overthrown.
So it's 3rd and 8 for Jonesboro from the 26.
30 seconds here in the third quarter.
Bryant leads it 35-7.
A third quarter that has been dominated 21-0 by Bryant, at least so thus far.
Brown to throw. Steps flushed out of the pocket. Now he's going to tuck and run, and I believe he got the first down.
He is going to have the first down. Nice heady play by quarterback Terrence Brown.
21 seconds remaining in the period as the clock stops to move the chains. Jonesboro will have it. Fresh set of downs at their own 36-yard line on the near hash.
Jonesboro contends to let the third quarter clock run out, Randy.
So that was most likely the last play. It is the last play of the third period. So 3 in the books. Jonesboro trailing Bryant 35-7 after 3. We'll step aside for a 30-second timeout. Back with the final frame when we return. You're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network. Welcome back to Cooksey Johns Field. Randy Myers along with Steve Clayton. Fourth quarter about to begin, and that was a 21-point swing in that third quarter in favor of the Bryant Hornets. And what was a tight game at halftime is now suddenly a, well, not so tight game, Steve.
It has kind of slipped the way of the Hornets here in the third quarter.
Jonesboro with the ball facing first down from the 36-yard line to begin the fourth period. Receivers left and right. Got a receiver in motion far side and a running play to the near side and a forward carry up to about the 36-yard line, which would have been the original line of scrimmage on that carry by Markevius Pickett.
There's a Hornet shaking up on the play. Bryant does a nice job to stretch out that play. Stop Pickett for no gain, but there is an injured Hornet on the field once again.
Yep, we do indeed have a Hornet down here on the just in front of the Jonesboro sideline, and help now starting to make its way on the field from the Bryant sideline. So we've got time for the officials' timeout. We'll pause here for 30 seconds with Bryant leading Jonesboro 35-7 early in the fourth. You're listening to JHS Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network.
Yeah, I could tell he was hurt. Yeah. They were all waving for medical attention.
Back at Cooksey Johns Field early in the fourth period. Jonesboro trailing Bryant 35-7 here in the 7A Central tilt. Also want to remind you to stick around for our more air conditioning post-game show. Be sure sure to tune into the Ticket Radio Network Tuesdays at 5 as we present the Moore Air Conditioning Offensive Lineman of the Week. That's right, Moore is rewarding the guys in the trenches all year long. It's the Moore Air Conditioning Offensive Lineman of the Week Award, Tuesdays at 5 on the Ticket Radio Network. And, of course, Moore Air Conditioning, also the sponsor of our postgame show for Hurricane football here on the EAB Sports Network. During that postgame show, we'll also name our JOSM Player of the Game as well. Currently, an injury timeout, or an official's timeout for an injured Bryant player. Do you have any idea who the player is, Steve?
No, I know the young man made a phenomenal play defensively to spread out the running back, stop him for no loss, but I have not seen a number as medical attention surrounds him.
Yep. So I think we've got time for another timeout. Well, again, we'll pause for 30 seconds. Again, the exact time left is 11:47 in the fourth period. Jonesboro trailing Bryant 35-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network.
Yeah, he may have a broken leg or something.
Well, I hope not.
There he goes.
There you go. Twenty-two. Back here at Cooksey Johns Field, Trylan Russ, the injured Bryant player, back up on his feet, making his way to the sideline. Russ is a senior defensive back.
He's walking off under his own accord, so hopefully that young man, in what appeared initially to be a severe injury, is able to shake off his injury.
Yeah, that was looking kind of scary there for a while, but it was encouraging to see him get back to his feet and walk to the field, for the most part, under his own power there. And Jonesboro now facing 2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line after no gain on that last play. Twins left, one receiver to the near side. And Brown is back to throw. He's got time. Now he's flushed and caught. And down he goes back near the line of scrimmage.
Boy, the pocket just collapsed on him that time. And
it closed fast.
Jaden Miles, the big linebacker, blitzing number 56, did a great job that time to close in on Brown and stop him for technically not a sack because he got back to the line of scrimmage, but it brings up a 3rd down and long for the Hurricane.
3rd and 10 from the 36. Ball on the right hash for Jonesboro as they make their way toward the west
Well, Randy,
end zone.
you can just see Jonesboro was so much swagger in their step in the second quarter. Right now they're just looking.
Brown's going to keep it running right, and late flag there at the end of the play.
Be an interesting call. Possibility of a face mask. We could have a hold by an offensive lineman that was pulling out there.
He got about 2 yards the tackle as the tackle was being made, and then the flag being flown.
Waved off the flag, actually, Randy.
So they're going to pick up the flag, and there will be no penalty, and it'll bring up 4th and 8 for Jonesboro.
Cole Abernathy, the left tackle on a pull that time, thought I may have gotten a flag on him, but flag waved off, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 8 for the Hurricane. The ball's at their own 38-yard line.
Looks like Jonesboro will bring the punt team onto the field.
Will Thayer is normally the punter, Randy, but I pointed out to you, he's actually on crutches on the sideline, so
Will Barnett will handle the punting duties again, and the Bryant return man sets up on the near hash at the 30-yard line.
Thayer banged up all year long, but hopefully that's not a season-ending injury faced by Will Thayer. Nice punt,
return.
Nice bounce.
Takes the Jonesboro bounce and still rolling, and finally will be down at about the 17-yard line of Bryant. Great punt there for JHS.
It was a great punt. It's going to pin Bryant back to their 19-yard line, rather their 17-yard line. But the bad news for the Hurricane, they've yet to slow down this Bryant offense here in the second half.
So there was a penalty.
A holding, yes, against Bryant.
As well against Bryant, so that's going to back him up even further, I'm thinking.
Coach Buck James, you know, he's going to have a lot to coach off this game film, Randy. There's been some mistakes done by Bryant. They've dominated the third quarter and put themselves in fantastic position for winning this football game. But there are some coachable plays on this film for Coach Buck James.
Bryant will start from their own 8 now with the ball on the near hash.
New quarterback in the game.
Out of the gun, running back on his right hip, trips to the right, gives it off to the back, and he fights forward up to about the 9 or the 10-yard line for a couple.
In the ball game now, the quarterback is number 15, Gideon Moats.
Moats is a 6'4", 210-pound junior.
Moats supposed to be a pretty good baseball player as well, Randy.
Twins right and left for the Hornets. Moats out of the gun. His running back drifts in motion to the right. He's back to throw. Sets up, fires over the middle, and missed his intended target. There's a late flag, and I don't know about that one, Steve.
Well, in high school ball, it does not have to be a catchable ball, but I thought the ball was past the receiver before the contact was made. So
William Kirby was the intended target for Bryant.
Like you said, kind of a questionable call against the Hurricane.
It's going to be a PI against Jonesboro.
Once again, the pass does not, the ball does not have to be a catchable ball in high school football. But all indications from the press box was the ball was past the receiver when the contact was made by the Hurricane D-back.
It seemed like a little bit of a late flag from my perspective, but I'm not an official. Ball will be at the 25-yard line, second and 10 after the penalty.
It'll be first down, Randy.
Yeah, it's first down. I'm sorry, first down. Twin receivers right, running play over the right side.
Fred Giles with a nice play from his defensive end position.
Yep, good open field tackle there for no gain. It'll bring up second and 10 for the Hornets. Twins right, one single receiver to the left. Moats out of the gun, running back on his right hip. He wants to throw.
Ooh.
Fires tried the inside slant, just a communication breakdown there. The intended target was Sean Rycroft, but he went to the inside. The pass went to the outside.
Good call there, Randy. Ball nowhere near the receiver. Obviously some miscommunication. Clock stopped with 9:06 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Bryant leading 35-7. Hornets trying to improve to 4-0 on the year. Jonesboro will drop to 1-4 unless things change drastically over the course of the next 9 minutes. Twins left and right. Moats out of the gun. He wants to throw. He's got time. Now he fires over the middle. Just missed his intended target. It'll bring up a 4th and long for the Hornets.
Well, Giles with good pressure on Moats that time in the backfield. The pass done a little bit too hard for the receiver, but the result is a punting situation. So Jonesboro once again will get the ball back in their possession here in the fourth quarter.
So Malachi Graham back to punt.
Tillman deep for the Hurricane. Good punt.
Nice high kick up in the lights.
Ooh.
And he'll grab it off the bounce on a dangerous, risky play. Now he's got some running room. He's at the 40-yard line and finally pushed out of bounds at about the 43 on the nice return for Tillman.
Boy, it was, Randy. You called it. If he caught it on a short hop, actually, but Philip Tillman does a good job to get positive yards on the return. Injured Hurricane shaking up briefly, but he's coming off the field. So Jonesboro will take over at their own 43-yard line, first down and 10.
Ball will be on the right hash. Again, Jonesboro moving from left to right toward the west end zone. Chris Stacy goes split wide left for JHS. 2 receivers to the near side. And got a new quarterback in for Jonesboro too, don't we?
Yes, sir.
running back over the left, running play over the left side. On the carry for Jonesboro is Markevius Pickett.
Sophomore Ryland Jones behind center now for the Hurricanes.
Jones is a 6'3", 215-pound sophomore.
Led Andy Camp to a conference championship last year. Did a nice job for Andy Camp last year. So Randy Coleman looking to get Jones a little bit of varsity experience now.
2nd and 8 for Jonesboro. Ball between the hashes at the 45-yard line. Twins right, one to the left. Jones out of the gun, brings a man in motion to the far side. Back to throw, left-handed southpaw quarterback fires incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and 8 for Jonesboro.
Pass intended for Sanders out there in the left flats. Underthrown, it was a hard catch when you're kind of on the run trying to catch the ball, even with your kneecaps.
3rd and 8 as the Hurricane makes their way to the line of scrimmage. Twins left and right. Jones out of the gun, running back on his left hip. Shows it to him, going to keep it himself, and tries to find some room over the left side. Got maybe a yard. That'll be about it.
So bring up 4th down long, another punting situation for Jonesboro. But at this juncture of the ball game, under 8 minutes left to go, the clock running. Randy Coleman may go for it here on 4th and 6, Randy Myers.
That would kind of seem to be the indication that we're getting right now, unless... Looks like they're going for it. Twins left, one to the right. Jones out of the gun, running back on his right hip. Got a receiver in motion to the left. And Jones is back to throw. Rolling left, here comes pressure. He's hit, able to avoid that sack. Now he gets rid of it, fires on the run. It'll be incomplete. And Bryant will take over on downs and get the ball back.
Ryland Jones forced to run to his left side. He is left-handed. So it's advantageous for him, but the pass simply could not come away for his intended receiver. So Bryant will take over on downs.
I'm impressed that he was able to avoid being sacked there.
Well, obviously, Jones a pretty stout young man at 6'1", 220, but
so Bryant will get the ball back. They'll start here from the Jonesboro 47-yard line.
Numerous substitutes in the ball game right now on both sides of the football.
A lot of fresh faces out there. Quarterback gives it off over the near side. Breaks to the outside at the 30-yard line. Now cuts it back up across the 20 and finally tackled at about the 16-yard line. On the carry for Bryant was Myron Thrash.
Well, Thrash saying, I may be a reserve, but I want to show off my skills. Does a nice job to weave in and out of Jonesboro defenders and picks up a 1st down.
There's a flag as the snapper just before the ball is snapped.
So it'll be offensive motion.
Bryant on the back pedal.
Figured it'll be an illegal procedure, but they're talking about it for quite a while. Are the officials? Just a sideline warning against the Hurricane.
Sideline warning. I kind of thought that might have been something like that, just based on from where that was thrown and the body language of the official as he threw the flag. Twins right, one to the left for Bryant. 1st down. Hand it off or pitch it out to the running back. Thrash over the right side, and he's inside the 10, down to about the 7, maybe the 6-yard line over on that far side.
Thrash looking kind of like a water bug out there in open space. Does a nice job to find daylight and picks up another nice gain for Bryant on 1st down. We'll bring up 1st and goal to go the ball at the Hurricane 7.
Moats is the quarterback. 2 receivers to the near side. Thrash again gets it. This time he's hit near the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. That looks like be probably no gain. Actually, he's going to lose a yard, it looks like, after the spot, back to about the 8.
Fred Giles still in the ball game, probably the best defensive lineman for the Hurricane. And a nice play there on 1st down for Jonesboro.
6:12 to play. Bryant leading 35-7. Facing second and goal from the Jonesboro 8. 2 receivers to the left, 1 off to the right. Moats, the quarterback in the gun, running back on his left hip. Moats flips it to Thrash. Thrash runs straight ahead and walks into the end zone. Nobody touched him. Thrash from 8 yards out.
Makes it 41-7 with 5:53 on the clock. Pending the extra point, Randy, we could have the mercy rule invoked against the Hurricane. Or the running clock, I guess technically it's called. But
extra point is pending. And I think they're trying to get enough people on the field for the play. They're 1 man short and got to hustle to get him out there. Got about 3 seconds left. Got the snap off. They're going to keep it running right, and that'll be good for a 2-point conversion. On the carry there was Jordan Knox as he sneaks it in for 2. And it is now 43-7 as Bryant extends its lead. That was a 5-play, 47-yard drive for the Hornets.
Very impressed with the backup running back, number 32, Myron Thrash. For the Hornets, he does a nice job on that last Hornet possession.
That score coming at the 5:47 mark of the 4th period.
Once Jonesboro returns this kick, the clock will not stop for the remainder of this football game.
Unless there's an injury or a timeout.
Or score.
Yep. Here's the Bryant kickoff. Fielded off the bounce at about the 11-yard line for Jonesboro. That's Tillman, I believe, on the return. He's trying to juke people, but then run out of room to juke and goes down at about the 14, maybe the 15-yard line. There's a flag after the end of the play, and now you got some unfriendly words obviously being exchanged over there near the Bryant sideline.
Well, there was some extracurricular activity over there, so they're going to flag. I think it's going to be against Jonesboro, but kind of a moot point here with 5.5 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Yep. Well, pretty impressive display by this Bryant Hornet team here in the second half. I mean, this was a 1-score game at halftime, and Bryant has really flexed their muscle in the second half.
You know, Randy, it reminds me of the old Couch's barbecue commercial.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing fancy, just good food. Nothing fancy by these Bryant Hornets.
Just good football.
Exactly, and they showed off here in the second half.
I like that. That's pretty clever. Yeah, that's a good analogy, I would have to say. So the penalty apparently was against Bryant based on the step off here. It's going to move the ball forward to the 43-yard line.
Normally the clock doesn't start.
I kind of figured we'd have offsetting penalties there, but nonetheless, Jonesboro will take the gift. They'll start from the 43. Got a man in motion to the far side. Now they fire it out on a late screen pass.
Maddox Morrison on the reception.
He gets it up to the
Morrison, a good athlete.
Line.
He's also a baseball player, and he's actually a starter for the Hurricane, but good to see that young man getting some stats.
My goodness, the Westside Blyville game has been called with 4 minutes and 14 seconds left due to a fight between fans in the north end zone. Gunshots have been fired, and that is a scary situation.
Boy, thoughts and prayers goes out to that situation, no doubt.
No doubt. Jonesboro, the running play. Nice spin move out of the tackle as Jonesboro moves it into Bryant territory to about the 46-yard line. And that was, who was that on the carry, Steve? Did you get the number there?
Jamarian Nelson on there. One of the backup running backs for the Hurricane with a nice run there on that previous snap.
So it's a fresh set of downs for Jonesboro from the Bryant 46. Jones, the quarterback, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now 1 right receiver motions left. And Jones keeps it running left. He's got a first down and fights forward to the 35-yard line. Nice nifty run there by Ryan Jones.
Jonesboro showing a little spurt here by some of the backups in the game now. 3.5 minutes left to go on a running clock here in the fourth quarter.
Ball at the 35-yard line, just inside the left hash. First down from there for JHS. John David Carter split to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Jones out of the gun, brings a receiver in motion near side. Hands it off over the right side, and that's a gain of about 2 or 3.
Jamarion Nelson again on the carry for the Hurricane. Clock right at 3 minutes left to go here in the ball game.
Braxton Banks goes wide left for Jonesboro. Senior wide receiver. Got 1 receiver to the near side as well. Twins left. 1 receiver to the right. Jones, the quarterback. High snap, gets it down, hands it off. That's Nelson again. He's got some room across the middle. Good second effort running. Bulls his way forward inside the 20, down to the 19, maybe the 18-yard line. First down, Jonesboro in the red zone.
Nelson showing a little bit of little spurt here in the waning moments of the football game as Jonesboro gets inside the Hornet red zone.
Inside 2.5 minutes to play. First down from the Bryant 19-yard line. Twins left, 1 receiver to the right. Jones, the quarterback. Handoff over the right side. Bryant laying in wait for him this time. That'll be a loss, probably back to the 20-yard line.
Well, Nelson again on the carry, unable to find any daylight there on that play. Loss of almost a yard.
2nd and 11, we'll call it, or closer to 10.5 from the 20-yard line. Twins left, 1 receiver to the right. That's Carter. Jones again out of the gun, running back on his left hip. He's back to throw. Sets up, looking for Carter, and that's incomplete. Overthrew both the receiver and the D-back, and meanwhile there's a Hurricane down at the line of scrimmage. One of the O-linemen down. Gets back to his feet with some help, but looks a little gimpy. That is Kathon Green.
Green says I'll stay in the ball game. Probably 1 or 2 plays left for the Hurricane. Once again, the clock running. It'll be under a minute when the ball snaps on this play.
Twins left, 1 receiver to the right. Jones rolling left. Here comes pressure from the backside. He fires downfield, finds a receiver. He's at the 10, at the 5, fighting his way forward.
I think he's in.
And he's in for the score. A 20-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Jones. We'll find out who the receiver was here momentarily. Score comes with 49 seconds remaining in the game as we await the extra point kick for JHS.
Ryland Jones stays in the ball game and be the holder. Jonesboro 1 short.
And
now Piggy gets in the ball game.
Pickett. PAT pending. Here's the snap, the place, the kick is high, long, and it's good. And with 49 seconds left, it's now 43-14. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the EAB Sports Network. Find out who caught that pass if you can.
Number 10, but it's not John David Carter. It's a black kid.
Okay, so we don't see if Aaron knows who it is.
Aaron, who caught that pass? Touchdown. Avion Sanders.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Ryland's a 3-sport athlete. Does he do all of them? He does football, basketball, and baseball. Be sure to mention that.
We welcome you back to Cooksey Johns Field. Jonesboro gets its 2nd score of the night. finishing off unofficially a 6-play, 57-yard scoring drive on the 20-yard pass from Ryan Jones to Averion Sanders. The extra point kick was good, and it's now 43-14. Less than a minute to play in the game, 49 seconds to be exact, as we await the Jonesboro kickoff. Hurricane will drop to 1-4 with a setback, 0-2 in conference play as they head across the state to Fort Smith next week for a battle with the Northside Grizzlies. Here's the kick. Caught at the 24-yard line by the Bryant return man. He breaks to the outside. He's at the 40 and finally knocked out of bounds by a host of Hurricane defenders just shy of midfield.
Great name there by the Hornet return man, Jason Jett. If you're going to be a receiver, that's a great name.
That's a great football name, absolutely. 28 seconds left as the clock rolls.
Bob does not have to run another play, so I figured that'll be the ball game, Randy Myers.
Yep, you're right. I don't think they're going to even snap it again as both teams make their way up to midfield for the post-game handshakes. Bryant pulls away in the second half. It was a tight one at the break. Only a one-score game at the break as Bryant led it 14-7, but they pull away in the second half for a walk-away 43-14 victory as Bryant picks up the win. We'll step aside for a 3-minute timeout and back to recap scoring when we return. You're listening to Hurricane Football on the EAB Sports Network.
We hope you have a safe trip home, and remember, please do not take and drive.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. On that Westside Blyville game.
He's switching jobs.
Yeah. Going to work for A-State.
No. He goes, have you heard the news? No. He goes, are you sitting down? I'm going to work for ASU.
Big Hog fan.
Oh, crap.
Sure.
It was at Blyville.
And Forrest is the only office equipment dealer that when you need supplies, you can walk in our store
okay, now
and
I can
get
hear,
it.
now I
When
can
you
hear
need
the turn again.
you
So
can call us.
This is Barry Forrest. My family's been taking care of equipment needs of businesses just like yours since 1965. I would love to work for you today.
Put your daily office routines in the hands of people you can trust. Forrest Office Machines, your authorized Sharp Document System dealer at 1005 G Street in Jonesboro. 932-7852. 932-7852. Call Forrest Office Machines today.
Evolve Bank and Trust is now bringing full-service banking to Jonesboro. To celebrate, we're offering you $200 extra. Just open a new checking account with Evolve. Have at least 2 qualifying direct deposits of $500 or more within 90 days. Then we'll deposit $200 extra into your account. It's just that easy. Open a new Evolve checking account and receive an extra $200 in your account, plus free checks for a year. Restrictions apply. Visit getevolved.com/special promotion for more details, or come in and see us at 111 East Huntington Avenue, Suite A, or call us at 870-933-2480. That's 870-933-2480. Evolve Bank and Trust.